Welcome back to another episode of Fact or Freestyle,
where we uncover facts from BMX.
And now we're going to find out what's going on.
Let's see how far down this rabbit hole we go. Sven.
Wow. Sven, are you there,
Sure
buddy?
he can hear us yet. Oh, he's got Brian Blyther on. Oh, look at that in the pipeline.
Sven looks like he's killed people.
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah.
We've never had anybody on that's killed people. That's awesome.
And you pronounce your name Sven? How do you say your name?
Svenny.
Svenny.
Yeah.
Svenny.
Yeah.
Svenny. Well, welcome to Fact or Freestyle. How are you today?
I'm good.
Or
How are
this
you
evening?
guys doing?
Doing well. Yeah.
Hey, Svenny, I'm Ray. What's up,
I
man?
know.
We are friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
I looked you up yesterday to make sure you weren't a serial killer like Joe.
Yeah. I'm not a serial killer.
Oh, and look who else is there. The world famous Lung Mustard.
What's up? Counts
What's
as
up?
cereal. What's
How we
up,
doing?
Mark?
Hey, Mark. Welcome.
Hey, who do we have today?
This is it.
Mr. Dave Norrie.
This is Sven, and he like opened shows for Dave back in the day.
In
Nice.
Norway. In Norway, of all places.
Nice.
Once.
Once in 1986, right?
85, I think. But
No, I think the Europe Tour 85.
yeah, might have
I
been
wasn't on
80.
there. It was just Ron and Brian. So if it was 85, I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was 86.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you,
Joe,
shit,
one
man.
other last little detail. There's one other paid guest that came on, and I kind of screwed things up like I always do. And I guess he was supposed to be for next week, but he's going to join us as well. This guy Luke is going to be. So we have two.
Oh,
paid
good.
guests. For the
The
first time
more
ever,
the
we have
merrier.
two for
Okay.
paid
Yeah.
guests.
No, you've
So-
had two paid guests before. You've had
Not at the same
you've
time.
had
though.
yeah, you had Pandemic and you had Rodney. They've been on at the same time.
Were they?
You are bad at your job, dude.
No.
Christ,
But
get me the suit.
individually, when they first signed up, they each signed up for the old show. Then we had them come back.
Oh, okay.
You're correct. But this is the first time. We'll have
Okay.
This is when Dave gets super defensive, is when he talks assertively and quickly.
Yeah.
And I thought the suit would help a little bit, and changing my name to Mr. Dave A. Norrie, but apparently it's not.
I'm not an expert, but the next guy here looks like a really old Joe Johnson.
It doesn't.
Hang
look
on a
like
sec. I knew nothing. I had
No.
no information on what was going on here. Is that Ray?
No way.
Yeah.
No, oh
you
my
didn't
God,
tell
it's
me
the
Johnson
Florida
was going to be on. Dude,
Yeah,
That's
Johnson and,
weird,
I
yeah.
Johnson and I do nothing but fight. So,
Yeah, I know. We used to get along
know
at
what I
some
mean?
point, but yeah, I don't know what the hell
yeah,
happened.
but Johnson doesn't like me that much, I think, because I call out a lot of his stuff that's like right out in the open. And he
Yeah,
just
I think I can't slip anything past you, and it's like, yeah, you just
when
I
I
don't like-
state
I
the
don't-
obvious, he
accountability
gets
is
all
not-
offended.
when
What are you
do what?
bleeding or something? What are you?
Yeah,
What do you
Yeah,
do
I
to
got
yourself
weird
shaving?
here.
What do you?
What?
You cut yourself
did.
shaving,
No, he was shaving
I
for the
didn't
show,
care.
Joe. See, this is so nice.
man.
Well,
He
I'd
got
like to say
ready
that.
for
Yeah,
the show.
yeah. Well, look at you. Is that a tie you have on, Dave?
I
Yeah,
know.
I'm
What's
kinda- My job is at Jeopardy. There's people trying to win my job over here at Fact or Freestyle.
This
so
is like a job interview for Dave today.
I'm stepping it up. I put some of my essential acknowledgments that I have, my
Oh.
trophies and whatnot.
Yep.
So, Lifetime
Okay.
Achievement Award from AFA, that kind of stuff, just to make sure.
Happy birthday, Joe.
Yeah, happy birthday, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thanks,
Happy
guys.
birthday, Joe.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So you could just
God,
leave the
this is-
tissue on. Just leave it
Oh,
on
dude, I
there.
tried everything.
Yeah.
I can't really see it that great.
Oh,
but
that's
yeah,
really
it's
bleeding,
I'm getting dizzy a little bit, but I'll
Oh,
see if I can
yeah.
make it through.
man.
Can
thing
you
stopped
see
taking
that or
baby
no?
aspirin. Leave it on. Leave it on.
No,
that's
you
perfect.
can't see it. You
You
can't
can't
see
even
it.
see it.
You can't even really see it.
We'll-
Wait, is
we'll
it on?
fix
I
it in
don't see it.
post. We'll fix it in post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so Joe, I wanted to talk to you about something maybe after the show because it's important about last show, and maybe now is not the time. But there's some circumstances.
Now is always the time, Dave.
Oh, hey, Joe.
No, I don't.
Hey, Joe.
I don't think this is. I don't want to take up a bunch of the time.
Does Joe know Joe? Does Joe and Joe know each other?
Oh,
I have met Joe. Yes.
Yes.
Wait, was I on this podcast before, Raybo?
Yes.
Aha.
Yes, you were.
Son of a bitch.
Is this that podcast I was on? That weird podcast?
Check out. Notice that. That'll show you an old friend of mine when they call me Raybo. Mark that down, Joe Sisman. He said
Oh,
Raybo.
Got it.
he said Raven.
Yeah.
Right. He knows.
Oh, is that old?
Yeah.
That's not.
That's old
That's
school.
right.
That's from Dennis McCoy. Yeah. We went from we went from Gary's friend to Raybo to Large Ray to then, will this guy stop talking? Yeah, that's
Okay, so before we get
Sorry.
into it, Joe, I just want to make sure. I'll say Sickman. Sisman, be sure to make a note to have a bit of time at the end. I just need like 10 or
I
15
think we should do it now because your voice sounds stressed and I need you to get this
Yeah.
off your chest.
No, it's
his
not-
face is red too, which is really
I
good.
got,
He's really
I
having
got
a
this
hard
new
time.
light though, so that my glow is a little better.
I don't buy it. I think I know what this is about though.
Well, the last episode, okay, I'll just give you the brief. There was some violations that happened on the last episode when we did the one on the X Games Flatland event. And I just
I
want to
know.
make sure, because we start to go down that slippery slope, Joe, and then there's no turning back.
Okay, I will not issue an apology, but I'll lay out the fact set.
I wouldn't even
We were-
dwell on the past.
We were watching X Games and Matthias was going and he had one of those fisherman hats on that was Red Bull, and it gets quiet and Ruben goes, "What do y'all think of Matthias's hat?" And then we kind of busted his balls a little bit.
That wasn't cool.
Well, it's fine. It's only okay if we're busting the balls of someone who's on the call.
Or if we
That's
can
a good
get
rule of
Matthias
thumb.
on the show so he can defend himself or his hat
That's-
or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that sounds like a good rule of thumb to me. Yep.
I mean, Joe Johnson is a perfect person that he went through a lot with the whole ants in the pants.
Sure
Are
did.
are you recovering from that whole episode? Or
Yeah,
series of
because I did. I
episodes?
was able to come on and defend myself eventually. So yeah,
Okay.
that felt a little better after that part. So yeah, I think I'm okay.
So I think, it's a process, but Matthias, I don't know if Matthias will come on. So we have to be very careful with those violations. So I just
All
wanna make
right,
sure.
all right. I will tell Ruben.
Okay.
What's
This is
Svenny
violation.
drinking there? Are you spitting something? What are you drinking?
I'm a Viking, so it's beer.
A Viking. Yeah. You should have a Viking helmet on, dude.
Yeah, you got to have that helmet.
He has
Uh,
killed people.
Who do you have on your wall? It looks like Leither's on who's on the back? Let's see.
Is that a
Brian Leither,
Crocs ad?
That's
That Vander?
that's Vander,
Oh, nice.
and that's me,
Oh, cool.
and this is Blyther,
Christocci.
and that's Chris.
Christocci.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh,
she's cool.
So there was a
Or
few things that
China.
there are a few things that you're working on right now, right? Because there's a skate park in your area that's trying to close down. Is that right? You're trying
Yeah,
to save it.
the city want to close it, so it's Norway, so it's snow, and we need somewhere to ride inside. So, and it's like the only skate park in 2 hours ride, so we get people from everywhere. So we are fighting hard for that one.
It's an indoor
Is it
park?
indoor? It's indoor, right?
Yeah, it's indoor.
Oh,
We
okay.
there's very few outside too, though, but this one is indoor. So
And why do they want to close it?
because they want to build football or soccer fields or whatever. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
who does that?
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, now we did the demonstration. So we occupied a parking lot, inside parking lot. So we are planning on doing more of those. Got some attention from the government. So yeah,
I'm sorry, you had a sit in, you had a schlep in.
Yeah, we kind of occupied a parking lot and we stayed out all night, and it was fun. But yeah, it's cold.
It's cold.
But it was a demonstration to like a protest to don't tear it
Yeah,
down.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
was
wild.
protest. Yeah,
How many
So we
people
had-
showed up?
a lot, about
Nice.
200 or so. yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that is awesome.
So it was
What were the
skaters and
slogans?
BMXs. Yeah, and we had a couple of cars, so we rode those, and they thought they were someone
Else's
had a
car.
park there. And, it was good times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
So-
meet the street, right? Meet the parking
yeah,
lot.
meet the street.
Nice.
Too hip, yeah. So
That's
yeah,
awesome. What
Enough
about-
attention that they might build. They're still probably going to tear it down, but they might build. There's enough attention that they
yeah,
maybe they'll build another one or something like that, or
yeah, That's
just
what we
attention
have.
that it's not just about soccer. Yeah.
yeah. Because there is a local skate park outside, and it's like tons of kids, and if there's a soccer field right next to it, and there's no kids, but the skate park is like full all the time, so it's just they don't know what's going on, basically.
And how many people, like, is it skaters, bikers, scooters? Like, what's the
It's-
the ratio?
It's two clubs. It's a BMX club and a skateboard club, and so we're about 400
Wow.
total. Yeah,
And how big of a town is that? I know you sent me the town, but I didn't look at the population.
yeah. The population is about 50,000 or something. Yeah,
All right.
but
That's it.
it's Norway, so it's like humongous distances.
Yeah,
You know. Yeah,
to travel. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, the best of luck with all that.
Thanks.
How much are you riding these days?
Every day.
Oh, wow. And you ride everything flat and vert?
Yeah, I'm a freestyler.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah, he said
Damn.
that with authority.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to claim that. I'm
Yeah.
a freestyle.
Damn.
That's awesome. What
Hey,
happened? to Joe?
what's Johnson doing? Joe's having a problem here.
Yeah, maybe
You know,
he
for
was-
being like Mr. Engineer and knowing everything, he's got some. First of all, he's got his he doesn't even have a pair of AirPods without a wire. You know, he's got a cut face. He keeps going in and out. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, I
you should have
thought
got
we
your
were
kids to
back
help
on-
you out.
I
You
thought we
should have
were
had your
right back
kids help
again,
you
man.
out with this. Did you
Yeah.
shave before you got on here? You probably thought you were doing a work call. It's just
Yeah,
not.
he
Oh well, I was doing work all morning. We've got something going on right after this call, so I had to. I'm like, all right, let me jump in the shower quick, and a little too
What
quick.
could you possibly have to do today? I mean,
Just tell my
what?
wife where to go. She's going to tell me later, but I don't know. I just give her the schedule. Need to know basis.
Need to
Yeah,
know
Johnson
basis.
definitely has a schedule. Like Johnson definitely wakes up and has to check in with,
Yeah.
with his wife in the kitchen to see like what we're doing today.
Right,
You know what I mean? The kids
exactly.
got to do this.
Yeah.
Just be ready
gotta
by
go
two.
Lord, where's
Just
my
be ready by
schedule?
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnson's got a schedule.
That's
Oh
so
my
good.
God.
That's so good. So Joe, I know that I went on and on about last week's show, but honestly, things are going pretty good. But my concern was that some of our subscribers have dropped. So we've actually
Two
lost
people.
Two people is a
Two.
lot
That's
when you
half of
only
them,
have
man.
a few. So I'm just saying, Joe,
Oh.
if you want to pitch some of your ideas that you have regarding the show, because I know you've been building up ideas for some time. Hey, Luke,
Okay.
welcome.
Oh, what's up? What's up, dudes? Hey,
Hey, what's up, man?
Okay,
oh,
so you got a,
Raybo.
Hey.
What's up, man? Good to see you.
What?
Raybo.
Luke who? Luke?
Dude, good to see you.
Wait a minute.
Raybo.
Dude, holy shit. Yo, Eaton, it's Jim's little brother, Luke.
That is
What's
not
up,
Luke
Jim?
Delaval. That is
Luke
not Luke
Delaval.
No,
Delaval.
Mark, no way.
Oh!
Mark Eaton's here? You
Who's Luke
didn't tell
Delaval?
me that. That's sick. No way.
sorry,
What?
I'm
Luke, I
stoked
didn't
to
do a
be
background
here.
check on you, so I don't. I don't actually know your history.
Factor Freestyle. Thanks for having me, bros.
Yeah, good to have
Hey,
you.
Wait a
what's
minute.
up,
How
Luke?
are you?
Joe
how's
is just gonna
Luke-
Joe is just gonna
Wait,
read us our
so-
quote for the day.
All
Why
right.
didn't you? Well, wait.
Where's Joe?
Hey, I'm right here. How
Oh.
you doing? It's good to meet you, man.
We got Joe
Yeah.
Sisman, and then we got Joe Johnson as well.
Oh, where's Joe Johnson?
Go on gallery.
Luke.
Can you go on gallery view, Luke?
Oh yeah, there he is. Oh yeah, what's up, Joe? It's been a while, huh?
What's up, Luke? Yeah, it's been forever.
Dude, bro.
Crazy. That's crazy.
That's so
Hey,
rad to be here.
Sisman.
What? Yeah.
I'm talking to Sisman here. You know Joe Sisman. Joe.
Yes.
Who in the microwave story?
Oh,
Yeah,
in
that-
Chicago,
You know the microwave story.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
bullshit.
Oh
is
my
bullshit.
God. Oh
What?
my
What?
God.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Luke.
I
Luke, I have
I'm like,
told-
where
I've told-
where did I hear the name? And it
I've told the
he's
story
the trigger
Instigator.
man.
in
The
Florida.
trigger man.
Joe.
told my
Joe
told my poop
basically.
story, right, bro?
Joe and I met because of the poop story, and the poop story only happened because you hit the microwave, dude.
Yeah.
Joe, this is your
What?
butterfly effect bullshit.
Yeah.
Is this really
it
that
really
guy?
is.
Is this that Luke?
and
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
his brother's a plywood hood, Jim Delavan.
Joe-
Yeah, Jim's the plywood hood. I pushed the 30-minute button on the poop microwave and fucking the whole lobby caught on fire. That was, yeah,
Who
that
puts
was-
a 30-minute button on a microwave?
30 minutes. How did you figure that out? Ray, are you pissed at Luke for that? Because I mean, I don't know if you need to
Luke-
work this out.
I'll tell you this: I haven't seen Luke since 1987.
That's the
So-
Velodrome contest, I think.
Yeah,
Luke,
Yeah,
how did you
Luke-
hear about this show though? What? how
Well,
did you just-
I got this link. You sent me the link for this because I was good. I subscribed to I paid to be on the show.
You were supposed to be
and,
on next week, but I forgot, and I just sent you the link for this week. But
Wow.
how'd you hear about Factor
Stay,
Freestyle?
please stay.
you could be on next. Yeah, stay here and
You
then
could
come
stay,
on next
yeah,
week.
for this time if you want to, Luke. You could stay for this time, and then you
Well-
could come next week if you want to. Whatever.
I
This
works.
is
was
amazing.
stoked when I found out about Factor Freestyle because I kind of had some shit to talk to Joe Johnson about, and I had
Oh.
I tried to
Oh
email-
yeah.
Who
You
doesn't?
emailed me, Luke. You emailed me.
Yeah, Luke. The only rule that we have is that as long as the person's on the call, then you can go wherever you need to go. So they have the right to defend themselves. So Johnson, are you
First off,
comfortable with this?
I'm stoked to see Mark Eaton plywood hood. That's it.
Yeah.
Second,
It's been an easy 30 years, Luke. Easy.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
we look the same. We look the same.
And Luke, Mr. Sisman is also a plywood hood. Recently, you might have seen one of the episodes we did where we inducted him into the plywood hoods just about a month ago.
I was trying to get in the plywood hoods,
You were.
but I mean, what? Yeah, this is actually I thought it'd be good to talk about my beef with Joe Johnson because
Uh-oh.
that time I crashed at the Enchanted ramp kind of ended my career, and it was like kind of fucked up because like I dropped in and then Joe saw me there, but he dropped in on me and I fucking went off the ramp and I broke my toe and it's just a toe break, but then like it got infected and it was like I had to get surgery. I was off my bike for 12 months and like Joe, that was fucked up is what I'm saying. I don't hold a
Oh,
beef
wow.
or anything. I'm not
Fucking
pissed.
Johnson,
I'm
man.
not pissed
Yeah, this is the right
anymore.
forum to
Like,
go over this
Shut
shit,
up.
man. This is.
I'm
this
just
is
saying.
why we
I'm
have
just
this, yeah.
saying. I'm
It's
not
all
pissed
about.
though. I'm not pissed. Huh? I'm not pissed.
Dude,
Yeah,
I was always wondering what happened to you because you and your brother are at like every contest, and then when I'd ask Jim, I'm like, "Hey, where's Luke?" He's like, "Oh, he's out. He works at a gas station now or something." But I never knew.
You're asking the
I
wrong
knew
guy.
that, I
should've
knew
been
that you were
asking me,
riding.
Raybo.
No, because
What's
it was like I had to have like 6 foot surgeries or something. It kind of went on. It was like kept going on. I
wow.
was off I couldn't
I
ride
was
again.
Johnson, the Black Cloud, dude.
But Johnson, like, I mean, you were like you pretend you didn't see me or something. I don't know.
And this is is this
No,
kind of like the ants in the pants thing where we're trying to figure out if this is fact or not? Is that what
Yeah.
this is? All right.
I don't know this guy.
I'm
Luke.
going
I'm
freestyle,
saying-
man. I don't know.
It totally makes sense now because he did like for 2 years we were at every contest together, and then he was gone.
Yeah, you fell
You
off.
know?
Totally fell off the earth.
Me and Jim,
And yeah, go ahead, Luke.
I was just saying, like, me and Jim rode together all the time, and yeah, he thought Joe was cool, but I never thought he was cool after that.
That's fair. That's fair. And so
I do remember Luke always being pissed at people. That's kind of
Yeah.
how the microwave shit started, dude. You know what I mean? Like, he caused some shit, and then he
No,
held
no,
a
no,
grudge.
I'm not
and
pissed. I'm not pissed. I'm
You're
not
on
pissed.
that. Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
Okay. It's
Well,
you're
I
over it.
was definitely never cool, but I don't remember. I definitely don't remember that incident. But
You don't remember?
it does.
dropping that?
It sounds like it does sound like me for not seeing you, but I don't know if I would have pretended. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would have.
You don't remember? Wait. You don't remember dropping in on me?
No, I don't.
You don't remember me
Uh-oh.
crashing off the side of the ramp?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Was it me? Are you sure it was me?
Yeah. You had.
Enchanted me?
Wait,
Yeah.
how
Yeah,
long were
but-
you at the Enchanted Ramp? When was this? What was the period of time, Joe?
Yeah, what year
When
was
were you
that?
there?
When-
Like,
Joe,
Yeah.
you lived there, didn't you? Live there, Joe?
Yeah, I lived there in '89. I lived there in '89, and I had been there. I'd been there in 80, here and there, 87, 88, and 90.
Yeah,
But
87, probably. It might have
when
been
did
the
it
first time
happen,
you
Luke?
were there.
Yeah, it was 87, 88. I don't know. I don't.
Luke, it was probably 88. Honestly, it was probably 88 because that's like the kind of last time you were riding in 88, and then after that, like, because you and Jim's ramp, you had that long flat bottom half pipe, and I remember
not
that was the last
pissed.
time I was riding.
I'm not
with you.
pissed. I don't know. I didn't have a calendar. I don't know, but I didn't have a calendar. But I'm just saying, like, that was kind of life changing.
Yeah.
wow, that really happened. You really broke your foot and infected and went to multiple surgeries and all
Yeah.
started from the. Wow, I'm
Well, I
sorry,
mean,
man.
that ramp was like a full on like splinter fest, wasn't it?
It was
Wasn't it, Joe?
dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was. I ate shit horribly one time because I didn't want to jump off my bike because the worst crash I ever had was on that ramp. And it was because
Yeah, the
I
worst
wanted to try to-
crash
I
I ever
wanted to
had
try
was on that ramp too.
say it again.
The worst crash I ever had was on that ramp too.
Yeah, and it was.
Yeah.
I tried to ride. I just tried to hang on, but to the very end because I didn't want to bail and get splinters throughout my body. So it
but,
was ugly. But
but
well,
you
yeah,
didn't
right
break
up-
your toe though. I'm just saying.
no,
You didn't do
I
it.
didn't. No, broke a lot of this stuff, but not my toe.
Well,
But
like everybody knew that you like dropped in on people, huh?
I'm loving
Really?
the drama of this.
Joe's a
I
snake.
love
No.
the drama. This is
no,
usually,
there were
this is usually
riders.
boring, but
There were riders with that history, but I didn't know that. This is news to me. So I
No,
know. I
like
didn't know.
he'd be all like spacey, like smiling all spacey, and then like, oh, whoa, I didn't see you. But like he was always like spacing out and like kind of like smiling and dropping in on you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Cool. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
welcome,
Jesus.
Luke and Joe. I'm glad you guys can at least hash this out. And maybe my idea is that you guys should get together and ride. How's your foot now, Luke? Can you ride?
I'm ridden. That was the end of my career right there.
Well, maybe Joe could do a little like I don't know, a little lesson or something.
dude, yeah, you guys should ride again. That would be
Something
awesome.
you should do some kind
Getting
of
Luke on a bike.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it comes right back.
Kind of like bikes make me a little sad now that I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
shit. Oh man.
I think we ought to get a GoFundMe for Luke and get him a bright orange GT Pro Performer because that's what he
Yep.
used to always ride.
Yep.
Is that what
He
you rode?
always had the
I think
Yeah,
that's a
the
great idea.
orange Performer.
That'd be
And
right.
and you know what? And keep Johnson away from him. Johnson can fuck anything up. Sorry, Joe. But
Well, I don't know. Yeah,
So-
I don't know. I don't know if I was. I think I dropped in first, and he was behind. I don't know. I don't know if he looked. Maybe he was. Maybe Luke wasn't
Yeah.
looking right ahead. I'm not sure.
Oh, what happened?
oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, Luke,
Does
you
Luke run
were
for that?
you were so little. You were like a little kid, and maybe either Joe
Yeah.
he may not have seen you, or maybe he thought you were just like a little kid and kind of getting in the way. He probably didn't know you were like a full on rider. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't remember.
So-
I don't remember it that well, so I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you were just real little. I just remember like always like how tiny you were.
Totally.
So
Totally.
And Ray, you and
Oh,
Luke
I'm
are
sorry,
good,
Luke.
right? You don't have any like.
No, no. If anything, Luke hitting that button on the microwave made me famous. You know, I mean, I had a couple months of being really scared, but now that whole incident probably would have been if Luke didn't hit the button on that, Joe may not know me because
So,
Joe seeked me out. You know what I
So
mean?
I
Like,
heard
isn't that
this-
weird?
So Luke, the story was, I didn't know there was a trigger man, but I was at Woodward in like '89, and we were all sitting around. I don't know who said it, but
Mark
There you
McKee, you
go.
told me.
oh yeah,
Mark
he
McKee
goes-
at Woodward.
He goes, large Ray shit on a plate and stuck it in a microwave. It has always made me laugh, and I've heard different versions of it over the years, and it always brings me to tears. And I mentioned it, and Ray goes, I put the bullets in the gun, but someone else pulled the trigger. And I was like, I think I had a conspiracy theory that once the podcast started happening, Ray was concerned about the statute of limitations. And so he invented the trigger man. Eventually,
No.
I learned that Ray never lies. And
Yeah,
so-
that's what we found out. That Ray told the truth. So Luke, are you here to you're basically saying you definitely pushed the button and said
Oh,
it in 30
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, Joe.
Right. Here's a question, Ray.
That
you
wasn't
brought
the
up-
first time that we did it either.
Oh, what?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Ray,
I thought
That was like the second or third time. Yeah, we
Hot
did
the
it.
butter. Here's the thing that's messed up. Luke was when I was 16, Luke was 13, and he was the worst influence on me because he didn't give a shit. And once again, he was like a little kid, so he could do like gnarly shit and then just be like, I'm just a little kid. Like, I didn't do, like, that's why I got beat up in that whole thing, like before the microwave. Like, Luke was talking shit and the guy came and started roughing me up.
oh,
So,
so you
but
were the Luke was the guy
really.
that started with the
Yeah,
security.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but Luke, I would have never in a million years thought to put a poop in a microwave, but apparently Luke had been doing it, and a lot of other. On the way there, he put a sticker on the plane when we were getting on the plane, and it took
On
him
the
like
plane?
15 minutes to scratch it off before we left
On the
And they were
outside
like,
of
"Hey,
the plane, yeah. And also you could take
on the
seatbelts-
fuselage."
You could take the
Yeah, and they're
seatbelts
like,
and then put them as like tie them like unclip the seatbelt from the plane and use it as a belt and like click it behind you. You'd have a belt.
oh God.
Uh,
I
Wait,
think Luke
Ray-
has got some insights on some good pranks here. Maybe we should have him as a regular.
Ray, I have a question. Was Luke the one involved in the lock conspiracy?
Oh,
Yeah.
With the
He
Woody.
was, it was him and Jim. Jim may have been the one that got it onto the bike though, but Luke was definitely like right with us, like because it
Yeah.
was all the same contest.
on
But-
Woody's bike, right? Woody's.
Yeah, I don't even know if Luke would remember that.
Yeah. So I just you guys, the other guys. Ray and I had this conversation recently. Ray had that giant lock that he was going to put on Woody Itson's bike, or what? It was Woody, right?
yeah.
If he would have put that lock on the bike, it would have changed the whole like that's an incident that's like would have like totally changed the whole
I
landscape.
haven't
of-
even heard this. So you were close to doing it, and then it got foiled at the last minute somehow. Did you do it?
Right.
Oh, we put it on. I think Jim put it on the back, like the back chainstay area. We couldn't clip it. We didn't have enough space to clink it on. But the thing weighed like 7 pounds. It was so
Yeah.
big. And then that's when I eventually got kicked out, where Bob Morales made me sit up with Magoo and Mark Lumen. And then
It was
that's the
called
butterfly.
it was
But
an
Joe,
elephant, it was an elephant lock that right?
That's what it might have been called. Yeah, it was huge because it was from a fair and it was on a huge lock. And I bet you See, he would know because he's from Stroudsburg, and that's like I mean, Luke's kind of like a carny anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's up in that area. So yeah, that's probably what it was. It was an elephant lock because it was a big lock.
Hey guys,
Oh,
I just want to check in with
fucking
Norway. So Stevie, how are you doing there in Norway? Are you, because we're kind of going off track a
Yeah.
little bit from the topic that we brought in, but you're doing okay over there in Norway?
Yeah, good.
Are you
I-
enjoying this? This is kind of some real life
Yeah.
stuff, I guess, working its way out.
No, I kind of know Jim Della well. He rode in Cannes, the Worlds. In,
Oh, in
it
the
was
world. Okay.
90.
My bro,
Okay.
my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Sick.
good.
Sick. Yeah,
He was cool. Yeah.
I would have been maybe that good though.
If it wasn't for Johnson.
Yeah.
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 This whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I rode Enchanted Ramp for like a weekend. So yeah, it was interesting.
Cool. Okay, so you can relate to all this. I just want to make sure we're not going
Yeah,
too
yeah.
far off track. So,
No, it's cool.
Sisman, I have to just stop and just recognize this little show, this little podcast that we've been doing.
Who's he texting again now? He's
Yeah, what
texting somebody. He's
number
not
are you-
paying attention. I hate when you do this.
Are you texting Andrew
Okay,
again?
okay. No, I was texting you guys. I was sending you back channel.
Oh,
Show-
got it.
back channeling.
Right now,
Oh, shit,
right
this is
now
a
we're
back
on the
channel
show.
text. I'm not
Let's, Joe,
getting
let's stay focused. I'm just recognizing that
Okay.
even though we only have 26 or 27 subscribers, somehow the magic of the show is reaching, and
Oh
like,
yeah,
Luke comes out of the woodwork and he's on the show with
Oh, yeah.
Andre. How the heck?
we're doing Frog Bar's work.
Yeah.
Frog.
Yeah. I found I found this the links from a bro that rides in the but I haven't seen Raybo in forever, and like Raybo and I, like when we were real little, like we used to.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Heard about this.
I don't know about that.
Bar.
Just playing around, but it was cool because we also like we'd all steal the skateboard wheels from the skate shop and throw them off the freeway on ramp.
You just went from to throwing wheels onto a freeway.
I
Oh,
know
one
you're
other-
all over the map.
One other thing that actually, sorry to interrupt. Is this okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
go
going.
for it.
I remember that. I mean, not. I do remember the throwing the wheels. Like I said, Luke used to do some
I
shit.
just- with I was gonna say one other thing that like I'm not pissed or anything, but like Joe, the reason I want to get on here is because like that is when I stopped writing is that crash, and I don't know, like
Oh, no.
if ever
Yeah.
like really like I just want to talk to you about it because that was like I loved writing, I love BMX, I love freestyle, and I love my bike, and it kind of, you know, I don't know.
If there's anything, anything I do to fix it? What can we do?
Well, there's
An
no way
apology?
to go back in time and like change it. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to change.
I think
I think Luke
Yeah.
needs to change something.
no, Luke needs to change.
Maybe Joe needs to like not like drop in on people, like and do stuff like that.
That's fair enough. All right.
Also, the other thing, like I guess, like I don't know, maybe Joe just always had beef with me or something. Because like I remember I had a Thunderbird, and he was like, "Oh, nice car." And then the next time I saw him, he had a Thunderbird.
He did have a Thunderbird with a wing on it.
He did have a Thunderbird. I remember that.
And like
Johnson.
I don't know, like maybe I was like, I thought he was like jealous of me or something, and like kind of like just out for me or something. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know why, Joe.
Yeah, a
Well, you
lot of
know
this
what, though?
might have been just,
Luke,
subconsciously.
Wait,
were
Raybo,
pretty-
wait, Raybo, wait. I want to hear what Joe was gonna say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe subconsciously I was just all this was going on and I just didn't realize what I was doing. So yeah, that sounds like I was a lost soul. I don't know. I was making some foolish decisions, and some mistakes I made were just taking me down. So I apologize for that. Jesus.
Well, I
Yeah.
really looked up to you a lot, though.
Wait a second. You said I wasn't cool, I thought.
No,
Your
but-
brother thought I was cool.
No, before that, I'm saying that I just.
He said he looked
before-
up to
sorry,
you.
brother.
Before the
Oh,
incident. Oh.
But can I say something real
Before the
quick?
incident.
I think
Oh,
like
Yeah.
always, I think I have it figured out. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, Ray,
Luke, when you
do you
were a
have some
kid-
advice?
Yeah, no, Luke was he was he was a professional ball buster, but he was a ball buster and didn't give a fuck. Like he put a sticker on an airplane. He put the thing in for the microwave for 30 seconds. He used to throw
30
wheels
minutes.
onto the freeway. And when he got to, if he was hanging out with Johnson at Wilkerson's, Johnson is a mellow dude, maybe there to ride, do whatever. And Luke, you were a kid you were a high-strung fucking menace, like in a good way. You know what I mean?
maybe
So
a
I
little
think-
reckless, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
was
maybe
fun.
maybe when you guys were up on the ramp, I don't think Joe wouldn't have hurt a fly.
I
Like
have to say,
he's dumb. He's a
Oh,
little
thanks,
dumb
Ray.
sometimes.
it's not my fault though, right? I mean, I
not
don't
dumb, but
have a choice. I don't have a choice there.
I don't. It's so funny because now that Luke's saying all this, I kind of remember Jim telling me about your foot. I forgot that it was Johnson, but I remember like even Jim was like kind of bummed out. Like he was upset that your toe was fucked up. And I remember you were going back to Stroudsburg to get it looked at. And then I remember like a surgery, not a whole bunch, but so it's a fucked up situation, but
hey,
I don't
Sisman,
think Joe.
Sisman, can you read the quote and get this off the screen so that we can see everybody's face a little better? Because
Yeah.
I know this is. You've been on your phone
Let your
texting everybody.
ideas and thoughts give you inspiration. All creativity comes from your imagination. You first imagine, then you create. So let me. Oh, hey Joe, did you pull this? Because here's what. Let me zoom in a little bit. This looks like a fast plant, but
very
it's no
very
footed.
skeptical. Very.
Wait a second. What are we looking at?
A no-footed fast plant.
It's you doing a fast plant on the cover of Freestyle.
No, it's a no footer, bro.
Oh, that there.
It's a no footer.
Is
It's
it an
it was a
air?
fast
Because you
plant,
don't.
No, it's a fast plant, no footer. Yeah, Spike shot that.
That's awesome.
Who
That's
shot
awesome.
it?
Spike Jones.
Spike
Who's
Jones,
that?
the guy. He was who Spike Jones is, Luke.
My background is a shot from him.
I have one too.
Wait, that's Eaton.
Oh, I know. That guy's a dick too.
No,
No.
Eaton.
Who?
What? Hey,
Luke, you can't say
He's
anything
not
about
a
someone
dick.
like that unless you're on the show.
Yeah,
why
that's
would
the
you
rule.
say he's a dick?
Yeah, exactly.
He
You
wouldn't shoot my
stopped riding
photo.
before
He's not a dick.
that.
He is not.
should-
I
he
think
wouldn't
everybody on
shoot
this
my
call
photo
will
that-
say that Spike is the coolest guy that you could meet.
Not to me though.
Why?
Who's
What
met
did he do to
Spike?
you?
Who has met Spike? Joe, have you met Spike before? Sisman?
I
I
met-
have not.
You have not.
I know him a little bit.
Yeah, he
Joe,
wouldn't.
you
shoot
know-
the- I tried to get in the mag and got the photo, but he would shoot like everybody else, but not me. And I think he spit on me once.
Wait a second.
Oh.
Is Luke? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you
Luke's
Spike
an angry
Jones?
dude.
Are you Spike Jones posing as Luke Delabau?
Why would
It
I
never
be
happened.
Spike
I
Jones?
Why
would I Oh, Joe Johnson.
Oh, Spike, I honestly,
Wait,
I
that's
was
not
on
even
you early. I was
Hey,
fucking,
Joe,
I swear to God,
did you shit your pants?
I shit you not, I was onto him, but I knew this Luke guy was very, I don't know, I wasn't sure about this Luke guy, but it sounded, I don't know, the Thunderbird part of it, I think might have been the dead ringer. I know Spike knew that I had a Thunderbird, and he used to bust my balls about that. And yeah,
Oh,
the,
Joe.
Oh my God.
the voice was
Okay.
solid. I was watching you very closely, and but I was still I was still skeptical at the very end. So that was
Man.
solid.
I was nervous. I was nervous lying to
I
you,
had
Joe.
the opposite.
I was very
I had
nervous.
the opposite effect. I was thinking it was Luke. I was like bringing stuff up remembering about like Luke.
Is there a Luke? Is there a Luke? Did
Yeah.
you press
Yeah,
the
there
button
is.
on the
There
microphone?
really is a
There's
Luke
really-
Delaval.
Is there
Yeah.
a Luke?
All right, I knew there was
You
a
don't remember
Jim.
my-
I certainly know Jim.
Yeah, you don't remember my brother Jim?
I definitely know Jim, but Luke, you're like, yeah, hey, man, it's been a while, Joe. It's been a while. Yeah, it has. Yeah, Luke, it's been a long time. I didn't have the heart to ask him how I knew him, but
I loved how Spike
Hey,
was
can we
slowly
get back?
going
You
down like
ruined
this.
my life.
oh, yeah.
Did I go too far, Joe?
that
It was so good. I was.
yeah. Go ahead,
Hey,
Joe.
Sisman, when did you have an idea that it was Spike or that it wasn't Luke?
Well, I was texting you guys. I was like, I think like Luke may have a dubious memory.
Right.
And then it kept going. And then like the Thunderbird, and I was like, Joe, are you?
Who knew? So who knew about? Just Dave. You knew about this, and maybe that was about it. Eaton, you probably knew about it.
Mark and Ray.
And Ray, even Ray.
Oh,
Oh, it's
so
Ray's
that
idea.
makes this even funnier, right? Because you guys
Yeah.
rang the Liberty Bell today. together.
Nice.
Oh yeah, so you guys could tell that story, Luke or Spike.
Well, first off, Mark
God.
Eaton, it's so good to see you too. Great to see you.
Yeah, thanks.
Been so long. And Joe, nice to see properly say hello. to you.
Yes, exactly, Spike.
Great.
So great to see you, man. It
Yeah.
has been forever. You
So
said
long.
you said happy birthday a couple in a video 3 years ago. That's the last time I kind of saw you, but yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it's been-
Thanks for that.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. So good. Yeah, I've listened to the podcasts and from Dave and Ray, and they're really funny and super entertaining, and totally bring me back. They bring so many memories back. Like just bring
Yeah.
back the Enchanted ramp and like your Thunderbird. Like all these memories are like popping up like fire. It's so fun.
I was
But
talking
he-
to.
wait.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a line. I remember me and my roommate Megan Baltimore came down and we stayed at that when you were living there at Ron's house at the Enchanted ramp when everyone was ramping it. Megan said something to you about your car, and you're like, with your thick
Silver bullet?
Massachusetts. Yeah, you're like, whoa, it's a Thunderbird. I don't know. I think she
Thunderbird
said,
Turbo
"Look-"
Coupe.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a mom's car. He's like, what do you mean? It's a Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. A nice car.
That is a riot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was telling someone about that car fairly recently and thinking about that. Yeah, living at that house and the time you came down. So you were like, Ron, let me ride. He had that Interceptor. I think it was a Honda. It was this crazy rice rocket that you wanted to ride, and you tipped it over on the driveway and it was full throttle. Spike, maybe now's not the time. But Ron, he almost let you take it away. That would have been hysterical, but
No, bike was way too big for me. Yeah.
way too big. Yeah.
Spike,
Yeah,
I
but,
also told the story recently about when you tricked Bill Hawkins and you were a driver and you picked him up at the airport. You remember that?
That wasn't Bill. That was actually Ron Wilkerson and Rich Avella. It was
No, Spike, come on, Spike. You went in your mom's car and you pretended like you'd never driven before, and it was Bill Hawkins. We were up on the top watching. You can't tell me you don't remember this.
I do remember it, but I remember it that we did it, that Bill was with us.
No.
And that oh, and maybe that was a different time. I
You did it
pranked
twice.
out Ron
First you
and-
did it with Wilkerson, and then
Okay,
Wilkerson
then-
wanted to do it with Bill.
Okay, then I don't remember the Bill one. Where was that?
It was in Maryland as well, because that's where he flew out for the Rockville.
Probably
show.
Dulles. Probably
Ah.
Dulles Airport.
That's
Yeah.
Dulles.
Are you-
And I remember you, like, we were watching from above, and like Bill's looking around. You got a little sign, Mr. Hawkins, and like he just hands you his suitcase and his luggage, and you take it and you carry it. You're kind of like stumbling, and you throw it in the back, and you're like kind of like all, like trying to drive with the gas and the brake on at the same time. And Bill's like, "Dude, do you know how to drive this car?" And like, "Oh, I just got my learner's permit, but we're all good." It was a classic.
That's hilarious. I forgot about that. I remember doing it the year before on the GT tour when Sean Buckley was the tour manager or the team manager for GT. I was
Okay.
14 and I went with Jay Metzler, who owned Rockville BMX, and Sean Buckley, and we were picking up Ron Wilkerson and Rich Avella, and it was their first tour. They were 18. They just graduated high school like the week before. And, you know, Ron was on the cover of Freestyle in the first issue. So he was already kind of well known, but it was his first tour. And we went and did a similar prank where like the pretended I was like the limo driver, but I was like it was my dad's limo company, and the limo driver, there was no limo drivers and I was the only one there, so I got the call and I took the car here and to get them. But then I was like, it only says Ron Wilkerson. It doesn't say who this other guy is, so he can't come. I have to leave him at the airport. And I was like, and like I almost ran over their bikes. I put their bikes behind the car and then almost ran them over with the car. And they were like, it was like their first tour too. But I forgot how we did it again on Bill the next year.
Yeah, that was great. The other thing I wanted to mention was, what about the time when we were in New Jersey in like a really fancy Sheraton hotel, and you did the elevator trick for the first time?
Where I stopped the elevator in the middle.
Yeah,
of the
you
floors?
opened it up, and we were like we were all in our 80s clothes and had our skateboards, and then we climbed out of the elevator, and everyone was all dressed up, kind of like this, all in their suits, and we're like, yeah, it's up to you. You know, we got out there safe, but it's on you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. I also remember that was amazing because I was 15 and you guys took me on tour with you, and that was so fun. Ridiculous and I went on tour 2 summers in a row. But I remember Brian Blyther, whenever we get a rental car, like someone would fly in and we have a rental car, he'd teach me how to stunt drive with the rental car.
Yeah.
With the
First
emergency
spike
brake,
stories.
like
Yeah.
do like high speed 180s and high speed, like, you know, like and go, you know, dive off the freeway down into the grass and like take the berms of the exit ramps in the grass.
Was it in Columbus? I think you jumped the train tracks, right, and cleared the landing ramp and destroyed I think it was a caravan or something, was it?
Yeah, in Wichita.
Wichita.
Wichita had like, if you ever go to Wichita, anyone listening to this, there's so many train tracks that make incredible tabletop jumps, like perfect. And
the right speed. It's got to be the right speed, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
so it was me and Lumen and Matt Hoffman, and we drove around all night looking for those jumps until we found the king tabletop jump, and we cleared the and cleared the landing, and just the car just like completely like it felt like we dropped the car off a building, and we looked back, we were all in shock, and we looked back, and it was just like from a block away, there's still like hundreds of red glowing embers in the whole street. The bottom of the car, like, round off and left in sparks behind us.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, that was Brian. Brian was like it's amazing because that's what he does for a living now. He's a high speed, he's a cop and chases people, and
yeah,
he's whenever it's in his precinct and he gets and there's like a high speed chase, they call him, and
yeah,
I don't know if he's still doing that actual job in that I think he's kind of got transferred around, but he was the guy that would call to do high speed chases.
Yeah, he was like the king of it. I guess he was telling me that when he first got hired and they had to send him through training school, he goes his first day and he goes in with the driving instructor and cruises around, and the guy's like, so where did you get your training? What program did you go through? Like he rattled off a couple of ones that maybe up north. No, I didn't do any professional driving. What? You didn't? Huh? Well, no, I rented a lot of rental cars in my younger days, riding BMX bikes. Yeah, and figured it out. The guy was amazed that he had no professional training.
I do remember one time he had his GTO, his Volkswagen GTO, and it was
GTI.
Up to GTI. He's pulling up to. I always do that.
GTO.
Oh God.
He's pulling up to a party.
Loosen your tie. You'll be all right.
Maybe I should take my coat off now. Now that I
do something.
So he comes up to a party and he does this big e-brake slide up against the curb and he overshoots it and hits the rear wheel, and it completely knocks the whole rear end off. And all he does is like gets out of the car, locks the car, and walks into the car. And we're like, dude, you just like destroyed your car. He's like, yeah, what can you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Has he been on at all? Has Blyther been on?
Yeah, he was on our first episode, and he's been on a couple times since.
He is the coolest cat. Like,
he is.
I don't think I've ever seen him stressed in the most intense situations we were in. Like, us or anything. Like, he's just like.
And all the cops know that, know that about him too. Like these cop chases you're talking about. He said he described some of them to me, and it was this crazy one that he he had the most catches in a couple of months or whatever. But there was one big one. He caught these guys. He comes back, and everyone was kind of telling the story about it. And he's like, "Yeah." And Blyther was probably over there eating an In-N-Out burger with one hand on the wheel and drinking. Like everyone kind of got it that he just didn't, whatever the situation was, he's just like chilling out and dealing with it.
Well, Brian said
but-
the reason that he became a cop is because he wanted more cool cops.
We'll say it again.
That he wanted more cool cops. He said, he wanted to be a cool cop, so that's why he became a cop.
He would be the coolest cop to get pulled over by for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, I just want to show you one thing in the corner of my screen. You see that little photo?
Sure do.
I hope that wasn't a dead giveaway, that it might have been Spike on the call.
What was the?
You can't tell what it is. It's hard to see what it is.
It's Spike doing a fast plant in a ditch. I bought that at an auction like several years ago in
Brad,
Portland.
it's
I think
That's
Lou
so
took
cool.
the picture.
Oh, that's sick. The hey, by the way, Sven, sorry to interrupt you. How's it going?
Doing good. This is great. I hitched a ride with Brian Blyther once from New York. I think it was 88 or 89, up to Woodward, Pennsylvania, and he was driving more on the pavement, the curb, on the street.
Yeah.
There were like guys flying out in front of us, and I thought, what the
Yeah.
can I say? Yeah. What the fuck?
one of the most horrifying driving experiences I've ever had was with Blyther driving in Houston. It was the Houston 87 half pipe 2-hip contest, and per usual, the hard team, we were late getting to the airport. We're driving. It was standstill traffic, like really no traffic. No cars were moving at all on the highway. He was in the breakdown lane. Shoulder went down into the woods, 20 feet to the right. He was in the shoulder doing about 120. Cars were like stopped. Sort of, it was friggin', it was so crazy, but he had one hand on the wheel, and if any car popped down on the shoulder, it was over. But we made it to the airport, parked the car at the curb, left it there. Isn't that how it usually went down? He'd pull up to the curb at the airport, leave the rental car, and walk to the, we'd walk in and go to the terminal. I mean, it was, that was just how we usually went with
Wilkerson and Brian would argue
Yeah.
who would drop off the car. And then they're like, okay, screw it. We're just going to leave it at the terminal.
at the curb. Yeah.
He's in it.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of bad habits from Brian. At 15, I didn't even have a license, and he taught me how to drive that way. That's the way I learned.
Really?
To drive. Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, Spike.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Spike, what's the craziest thing that you can remember car wise? The craziest scenario that you can think of that you were involved in?
Brian, we were in Columbus, Ohio, in the winter, and there was like a park, and Brian's like, "Oh, I know where there's this park that's ice covered. It's like a road that goes around the whole park. So it was like maybe a 1-2 mile loop." And he's like, "It'll be covered with ice." I don't know why he knew this, but we took the rental car down to this ice loop and just did like high speed ice slides, at like 60, 80 miles an hour. And then there's this point where there's these sort of cement posts that were about 4 feet high that kind of get narrow. So it went from a 3-lane road, 4-lane road into like a 1-lane little slot that you had to make it. So you had to keep like pulling it, like drifting around these corners at high speed and then try and straighten out to make it through the little gap. And a lot of times we didn't make it through the gap, and it would like clip the end and send you spinning. But that one. What are you? What are your most dangerous Brian memories?
I have one. Oh,
Ray
go ahead,
does
Mark.
too. No, I'm good. But you guys have way more than I.
So it's the first tour I went on with him in '85, and we were in Nebraska. So we hit a deer in Denver, outside Denver, and that was like our first thing, right? So our van was totally smashed, riding on half a radiator. And so later on, we couldn't get it fixed because we had shows. Like we didn't have time to like wait for parts and stuff. So we literally we're just driving on a half a radiator, and it's super hot in the middle of Nebraska, and we're just hauling. Got cruise control on at the highest speed. Like they'd set the cruise control on a downhill, so it's just like maxed out, and just doing like 85 with the trailer. And all of a sudden we come over this little hill, and traffic is dead stop because there's some construction site going on. And Brian, he's just like what you described, Joe, where he like literally went. I was in the passenger. And he's got one hand on the wheel, and he's like leans over. He pushes me back a little bit so he can look in the rearview mirror. He starts to jackknife. He hits the brakes. He starts to jackknife. And I'm just like freaking out. Brian's just totally cool and chill. He swerves back. He gets into the emergency lane, and he just goes all the way to the very end, and then cuts in. And I was like, "What the? We could have died." And not only that, he just cut all those people off with the trailer. So that was one of many. And
That
really,
reminds me of another one, Dave, where we were, I think, in North Dakota or something like that, and it was these huge highways where there's a big, huge gully between, like the two lanes going east, and then a huge gully, like a 40-foot deep gully, and like maybe 400 yards over to the other one. So it was like a kind of a half pipe, and we realized we were going the wrong way, and Brian basically rolled in with the van, with the trailer to this huge gully and just gunned it and made it like, down the thing and somehow back up the other side to go on the going west or whatever it was. And that was like, I couldn't believe like the trailer didn't flip or the van didn't flip. It was way too big for a van to roll into. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that one. I'm not sure if I was there, Spike, because I think I would have remembered that one.
And another thing I actually just remembered that I think Joe and Dave, maybe you were both there, is in Massachusetts, the van broke down and we had to get a U-Haul truck, and we attached the trailer to the back, and I remember we put Brian in the back of the trailer, and maybe you were in the back of the trailer. And
I don't remember that.
And like the gas, like when we just drove, like we all piled in the front, but whoever couldn't fit in the back. And then when we got there, the bikes were gone. The bikes had fallen out because the gate had opened. The bikes had out the back, and Brian, and I thought it was you, Joe, but Brian and somebody else were like about to pass out from all the carbon monoxide. Like
I do remember that. Yeah,
there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on.
Exactly. It's surprising that we made it. What about this story, Spike? When we were at Denny's in, I think it was either Syracuse or Rochester, New York, and we got kicked out. It was me, you, Brian, and I think maybe Scooby. And basically, they kicked us out of the Denny's restaurant. So we all got on the ground and we did the worm, right? And we did the worm out there and left. Went to another little steakhouse right around the corner. And about 10 minutes in, we're sitting there. We got our food. We're starting to eat. And a police officer comes in and says, excuse me, but who's driving that big rig out there, that horror rig and trailer? And you're like, that would be me. And the guy looked at you because you were like 15 at the time, but you looked like 12. And so the guy was like, you're driving this? And then he made us go back to the Denny's and apologize to the manager. Do you remember doing that?
No, I don't remember that one.
God, it was so good. We were just like, we're sorry, sir. We've been on the road for a long time. And, things get a little bit tough for us. We know our behavior was not, very good, and we apologize. And
I feel like you might have taken the lead on that, Dave.
Yeah.
No, hey, Dave,
let's send Dave to the front.
Dave, I have a story, believe it or not, if you want to hear it real quick.
Let's hear it, Raybo.
Sorry, Ray.
So, this is a Brian Blather story. So I had purchased a race car from Dave Mirror that he got from a guy who builds race cars. So, and I'm not the kind of dude that like should drive a race car just because I'm not good at driving cars, really. So Blyther shows up at my house and he's looking at it. He's like, dude, holy shit, Steve Saline's Mustang. I heard about this thing. Let's go take it for a spin. And like Gary and Scotty Freeman are like going like, no, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, oh my God, me and Blyther are going to be cruising around. So we're like, all right, let's go. So he's like, hey, let's go out on like a big road or something. I'm like, all right, there's like a road here, 422. You can open it up. So and the car's a convertible. So we get on, we got the top down, and Blyther takes off like he's being chased. And he is flying, and there's like, we're coming up on traffic, and he just goes on the shoulder, and we are flying. And I look, and we're going 140, and he's got one hand on his hat, and the other hand he's just steering, going in and out like this, and I'm screaming, going nuts. We get back to my house. We're like in my neighborhood, and Blyther looks over at me and he goes, "Ray, are you crying?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm crying. I thought I was gonna die." I had, like, tears pouring down my face. And he's like, "Man, this car's really fast." And then he's like looking down, and I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Holy shit, this thing's a 6-speed." He was still only in 5th gear going 140, and we had another gear to go. So, like, I literally almost died that day, and he was, of course, as calm as can be, as like nothing even happened. And I was like, I really thought I was gonna die. Like, so
Yeah, you could have been
he is
on
a
him.
calm dude.
You could have been on him, going, "Let's go, let's kick it up." And
Oh yeah, if I was like, "Come on, dude, let's see what this thing's got," he would have been. But I guess when he realized I was crying, he kind of like stepped it down, and then we just went back to my house.
Yeah, anyone ever drive in his GTI when he had when he had flat spots in the tires, because he would go to the top of the mountain up in what was near his house?
Baldy.
Yeah,
Baldy.
And he would hit the e-brake and just slide all the way down the road, all the way to the very bottom, and he's like, "Well, dude, what's up with these wheels?" "Oh yeah, I was up, sliding down Baldy, and it's got a flat spot. I got to change them out." You know, every 360 on the wheels, you did with the bump.
I remember the first time, the first night, the first stop on tour when I went with you guys. I left, you guys picked me up in DC, and it was the first year I went on tour. I was so excited to go on tour. And we went to Kingston, Tennessee, and there was a show at a festival, a state fair or something. And then Brian met some girls, and he was like really excited. He's like, "I'm gonna go hang out with these girls. Pick me up at Burger World at midnight." And so we're like, okay. So we went back to where we were staying with the guy that owned the shop, the local shop. And then we went to Burger World at midnight and waited and waited and waited. He never came. So, there's obviously no cell phones or anything. So we're like, I guess he's on his, I don't know. Maybe Ron or you or somebody's like, probably Ron's like, "Okay, we waited 40 minutes. That's enough. Let's go back." And then we went to the guy's house with a beautiful hot tub and a swimming pool. And we're just like hanging out. And he was just on his own. He had to like sleep out with like the homeless people in the campfires, and like it was just like,
this is right.
And he only had like a sweatshirt, so he was like freezing cold, and he was
tucking
so
his
pissed when
knees under.
he called the shop the next morning and said, "Hey, like the guys just abandoned me, can they come back and pick me up?" This is a photo from that show, Spike, that you took. I don't know
Really?
if you remember this.
I remember that photo. I didn't know it was that show. That's cool.
Yeah, Kingsport, Tennessee.
What?
Kingsport.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Wow.
I've used this in many different shirts and designs just because it's so classic, such a classic Blyther style and
Absolutely.
Palacio stand.
Yeah, man. That was like
What year was that?
85.
Yeah.
Okay. And Spike, when you went on tour, did you bring a camera with you? Obviously, like, were you really like shooting in 85? And
I had a camera. I brought my mom's camera, but I didn't really shoot a lot of photos. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I shot photos. I mean, but I was mostly just, I wish I shot more photos, but I didn't shoot that many.
You stopped by Boston, the Boston area, when I got to see one of the horror show that year, and you were on the tour. So that was, you had just gotten on the tour. And,
I think that was the next year. That was 86, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I guess you're right. Yeah.
That was the first time I met you. That was cool.
Yeah, you're right. Wow, good memory. Yeah, you had a journal with you. I remember. Like, "Hey, Joe, write something in here. Just write a story or something. I'd love to know what the hell."
Oh, we
I
gotta
wrote.
find that journal.
Yeah, where's that journal, Spike?
Where's
I
that
don't know. I
journal?
gotta find that. That's great.
It was, I mean, like, what do I write, Spike? I don't, whatever comes to mind, man. Just write anything you want. Oh, Jesus Christ. But that was
That was
interesting.
so fun. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Hey, Spike.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned something about Joe's Boston accent earlier.
Yeah, it seems lighter now.
It's gone.
It is.
It's gone. Completely
It is,
gone. Yeah.
but this is a story that I've told before on here, but it's
You
so
thought it
good.
was.
Yeah. So Justin's laughing already. I didn't even tell the story.
We already
So-
know, Randy.
So I'm 16, 17 years old. I go to this Ohio contest for the first time. Now, I haven't been out of like King of Prussia my entire life. Like, I'd go to like Philadelphia, maybe go to like a couple of towns nearby.
That was my
And-
problem too, right?
Yeah,
It's
well,
kinda
all of
related
us
here.
were. If you think about it, we were all
Yep.
just like
Not-
we didn't meet people from other
Not
parts of the
very, not
country.
very worldly. Yeah.
And so Johnson shows up and he's got his like chili bowl haircut, his Mr. T starter kit, one chain, and somehow Gary knew him. So Gary's all talking to him, and Gary's like, yeah, blah blah blah, this and this, and Johnson wants a ham and pineapple pizza, and I'm like, the fuck? And so like the pizza shows up and somebody goes, who the fuck ordered a ham and pineapple pizza? And I'm like, oh, it's the deaf kid. And they're like, the who? I go, the deaf kid with the chili bowl haircut. What do you mean the deaf kid? I'm like, the deaf kid that talks like Lou Ferrigno? Like, and I thought his bad Boston accent was like Lou Ferrigno, and he was deaf.
It is crazy. It's
Like you can't make that shit up. You know what I mean?
I don't at the time. I don't even think I knew there was such thing as a Boston accent. I swear to God, I'm like I showed
Yeah.
at Tulsa, Oklahoma in '85, and yeah, people. Dennis likes to reminisce about it too. Like I kept trying to explain to my handlebars moved, and he kept I had to repeat it 5 times before he gave up, and yeah, I found it took a while to still figure out that it was an accent issue. I guess as it turns out.
Hey Joe, wait, can you still do it? Can you? Let's hear it.
Let's hear your thick Boston accent.
Park the car in the Harvard Yard. That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it does come out sometimes, but yeah, overall.
Hey,
I don't know.
Joe, do you think that you could do the next 20 minutes of the show with your Boston accent,
Yeah,
please?
that's good.
With your
Yeah, I
Boston-
think I can pull it off. I think.
Okay,
I think
so-
yeah, I can turn it off.
Johnson,
and on.
Okay.
Johnson,
Cool.
I got a story. So when we first met on tour, it was '86, and what happened was DMC broke his ankle, so I flew out to fill in
Oh,
for
this
him.
is the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were basically in Florida, and you flew out to fill in for Tony Murray because Tony Murray, like, I don't know, he didn't break his leg. He did something to his knee. He flew his knee
Tweaked
out.
his knee. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's Rich Segure, Joe Johnson, and myself.
Right.
And Rich Segure's like, okay, Joe, we're gonna do a double air. And Joe's like, well, you tell the story. What was that like for you? What did
Well,
Rich-
to lead into it, it was the end of my my sophomore year in high school, my junior year in high school. But
But
basically
wait
it
a
was like
second,
May.
Joe, before you go on, could you tell the story with the accent?
yeah,
Like
accent
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
Go back to 1986. Here we go.
Yeah, bring us back. Bring us
Take
back
us
to
back
that time.
to
So it's 1986.
1986.
It's May, and I got the call to go and replace Tony Murray. I was, yeah.
He's not doing the accent.
oh really?
Let him settle in. He'll settle in.
I gotta settle in. All right.
All right,
Let
settle
us-
in.
But anyway, I took all the tests I had to take in school to get. Basically, I'm done for the summer. And
Summer.
Yeah, summer. So I talked to my teachers and I'm like, hey, I need to do whatever I can. Any tests I need, you want to give me any, whatever I need to get. I'm gone for the summer. And I took care of all that. I'm laughing at all my buddies. See ya, you fools. I'm gone later. And and then I go and this incident happens, which we can talk about. But right back in school a couple days later with a cast on my wrist and tail between my legs. And it was friggin' horrible. I leave it was supposed to be a 3-week tour. We're going to Florida, we're going to Georgia, then Bermuda for 2 weeks. I think after that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so we fly down. Don Cook was there, I think, for some of the show.
He
Well,
said
Don
he's
Cook
flying
filled
this
in after
down.
you got hurt. He filled in for you. So
Okay.
what I remember happening is Rich Segure is like,
Flied.
okay, we got to do a double. We got to do a air over.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was like-
And he kept trying to explain to me what we were doing.
They
Like
never
you,
practiced this. It's in
yeah,
the
like,
show.
it's like it was during the show. It was during the show, and it was the very first show, and he's like, when Dave was out doing his part of the show, Rich had his 2 minutes to work on me to tell me about we're going to do this doubles. I'm like, dude, I can't. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with it. It's ramps too narrow. No, it's easy. I go up and do a fakie. You go over me. It's real easy. I'm like, let's just practice. We'll do it another time. No. And then Rich, and they call him out. Then he'd go ride, and you'd go every time. He had a chance to work on me during the show. He would just start hammering on me. Finally, I'm like, all right, fine, let's do it. And I thought I was supposed to. I thought I was supposed to like go next to him. He was going to go up the very middle. I was going to be on his left. I go over from left to right, one edge to the other, and but we're flying at the ramp, and he keeps trying to get behind me, and I'm trying to keep him to my right in the middle. And that basically the whole thing got fucked up. And I just kind of get up in the air. I think, I don't really know where he is. I just know we're going as fast as we can. And I just carved right off the ramp, landed, my back wheel caught just at an edge of the coping, a little bit of that, but basically front wheel right into the pavement. And concussion, broke my wrist. And I'm lying right as I hit the ground. And it's hot as hell too in Florida, obviously. And roll over, look up. And it starts pouring out. The sky's just open. If it had waited like 10 more seconds, it would have been too late. We wouldn't.
Yeah,
The show would stop. So broke my wrist, concussion, and get back in the van. We're driving to Georgia that night, and Dave kept, I didn't know you that well, Dave, but you were being, you were trying to make the best possible bad situation a little bit better for me, but you're like, oh no, seriously, no, you don't have to go back to school. No, come with us. Come on, come to Bermuda. Blah blah blah. No, I want to go home. I need to go. Whatever. But I almost stayed, but you were trying to talk me into staying. I do remember that. You were very nice about it. But I was bummed.
I thought it was important. I wanted Luke to hear that story because Luke, I know you guys have some history there.
Oh right. This ties back. Yeah,
I just want to make sure that Luke feels like okay.
Yeah. A very good point.
Yeah, okay. I feel better now.
Yeah.
I love the voice. The voice is great.
It's so good.
And I loved how you're going like this, Spike. You're like kind of low down, so you can see your whole face. You're like
when he was texting like, "Hey, how am I doing?"
Yeah.
Like, do you think Joe's onto it? I was gonna say like, "Hey, just keep going lower and lower because then,
Well, actually, Ray, if you haven't busted my balls earlier for messing around with the camera earlier like this, I was gonna search up Luke Delaval to see what where was this cat from, and I never did. I chickened out. So
what's funny is he could. Well, yeah, there's only one photo we found of him, and it was like a older one, darker, like but the hair that Spike had, that wig, that's pretty close to what his hair would be like, or it was like the last time I saw it. Yeah, it was like a long, straight brown hair. So Spike did his research.
This is what they sent me, but I didn't really.
Yeah,
it wasn't that close, but I just figured that's what I had.
That was good.
Yeah.
And so, Spike, do you just have like a whole trunk full of different costumes?
Yeah,
I
like,
do.
he travels with disguises in case he's got to rob a bank or something.
I used to have
in
a
case
lot
things
more
get boring.
I used to have a lot more disguises and costumes and makeup and like scabs and cuts and mustaches and the whole deal, but I've lost them over the years. I just have a small bag now. But,
Spike, what is your typical day like these days? It seems like the fact
This
that
is
you're able
it.
to like waste, like spend so much time with us right now is I feel like we're like on borrowed time right now, don't you?
I know, that's what I feel like too.
You're like, oh my god, this is pretty cool. He's like,
He's just sitting in a hotel room. He's gonna order a ham and onion pizza and watch Rad. He's got shit to do.
Chilling out. I think he's learned from Brian Blyther. Like he's just chilling out. Like,
I learned to chill from Brian. No, I'm so happy to see everybody. It's so fun. It's fun. As I said, listening to the podcasts are so fun to like be reminiscing, and so it's so good to see all you guys. And
that's awesome.
But I'm just doing today. I'm gonna go surf after this, and that's it. That's my day. It's a nice Saturday off. Yeah,
that's cool. Well, you look exactly the same, in my opinion.
What are you working on at the moment? Like what are you involved in at the moment, Spike?
The only thing I'm doing right now is we just finished a new Jackass movie so we did that last year, which was super fun. And then right now I'm writing something, just been writing this thing on and off for many years, and hopefully I'll be finished writing it.
Right.
Yeah.
you sound like Wilkerson.
do you ever-
Wilkerson's been working on his book for like 20 years.
I know.
He keeps saying that he's going to publish it, but I'm not sure.
It probably came out already, and we just didn't see it. And we didn't see it.
So, Spike, we're talking about doing a tour with Brian, Ron, and myself for 2024. And we need a roadie. And I'm just wondering if
he's surfing. He can do it. He ain't doing nothing.
I can sell all the t-shirts in the world. I'm good.
Okay, t-shirts and posters.
That's right. That's always an option. Yeah.
Yep. I'm good at assembling the ramp and taking it apart. I'll
Work
drive it.
during the day and then write at night. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You won't miss a beat.
Yeah.
I'll drive. I'll stay up late. Talking when whoever's driving, I'll stay up late in the passenger seat, keeping them awake.
Yeah, exactly. That's
That's
the passengers. Yeah.
That's the
role, is
duty.
to
Yeah.
make sure they don't fall asleep. And remember, we
Yeah.
used to play like one cassette both sides, and that was like your run, or a full tank of gas. That was like your driving shift.
Yeah.
Are you still skating or biking or anything like that?
I actually, Mac gave me a bike a couple of years ago, but I haven't tried it, like to even do a 360 bunny hop. I'm scared of even trying that at this point. But
Stay off the bike.
stay out.
Stay off the bike.
No, I got it.
Keep surfing. Falling on water is a lot better than falling on cement. So just
Exactly.
The
take
reason
my
I-
advice.
But large Ray, the reason I'm asking
Yes, sir.
obviously is that we need a fill-in for you because you're not going to jump the
Oh,
jump
yeah.
that.
No, Spike ain't gonna
Cristiano
do it.
is.
He's smarter than anybody. He knows
Oh,
not
I
to
don't
do it.
know.
I'm not that smart, Ray. I don't know why.
Oh,
Joke, joke.
this might
Then
be
there
our
you
way
go.
out.
Then yeah, Spike, Spike, I have to do a backflip onto an air mattress, or what do you call it?
Airbag.
Whatever the fuck it's called. An air
Airbag.
mat. For
Airbag.
an airbag for charity.
Wow.
And I'm not
When is
I'm
this?
not doing it. And I need a stunt double. So we're now shopping out stunt doubles to do a backflip for me because I'm not doing it. So if you're available and you want to blow the rust off that Hoffman bike you got, you know, and you're the one that said you're doing nothing but writing. Like I
And
said,
it
you can work during the day, write at night. So it
And
sounds like we
that's-
got somebody.
It doesn't have to be a backflip. He could just jump it. I mean, that
No,
would
you
be
just
awesome.
got to jump it.
And he
Yeah.
could be Luke.
No.
He could be Luke. He doesn't.
Yeah.
have
He
to
can be
fly.
Luke Delano.
Luke might want a second chance at a
Yeah.
BMX career.
We'll have
That's
Oh,
right.
that's
It's
Joe.
His
We'll
toe
have-
is sealed
we'll
by
have-
now.
We'll have Johnson smash your toe with a hammer before you do it, just to
Yeah.
get it, just to get
It's
you going.
Hey, is anyone
Um,
going to these the Woodward West reunions these days? I haven't been in 10 years. I'm thinking of going to the next one at least. I don't
Yeah,
know
I've
when
been
that
to
is.
every one. I'll be
Yes.
there. It's going to be
Cool.
in Labor Day.
September, right?
Nice.
It's three.
Where's
It's
All right.
3 days.
West?
It's Labor Day.
Where's Woodward West at?
Tehachapi.
It's up-
Tehachapi. It's right
it's up
down the
near
street
Baker-
from you.
It's right by
by
Bakersfield, I
Yeah,
guess.
by
right?
Bakersfield, kind of
I didn't know that.
like
You
2
can bring your
hours.
surfboard.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
They
now
have a wave pool there if you want to bring your surfboard. They have everything.
they do not. Ray, don't get him excited.
Just
about that.
stop! He's halfway there. You gotta listen. Sometimes you gotta.
Yeah,
Sometimes
he's
you gotta
gonna-
lie to
He'll
people
be
to
rolling
get
up
them
with
to where
his,
they
with
gotta
his
go.
surfboard. He's like, "Where's the wave?" Ray said, "There's a wave machine."
Ray said,
He could-
Ray said there's a wave.
Spike could show up with a dead cat and people wouldn't care, dude. They'd just be happy to
Yeah.
see him. So
Hey,
Yeah.
Mark,
Surfboard isn't
how
matter.
are you doing, Mark? How's your world?
Good. I'm sort of I sort of split my time between still production and I'm a DJ. I'm really into DJing.
Fun.
Like
Cool.
yeah. So I stream on Twitch like 3 times a week. I'm a
Yeah, he
like,
does.
stream- yeah.
Throwing
Great
down,
setup. It's
What's
so
your
good.
throwing down the stuff.
DJ Eaton, but there's an underscore DJ underscore Eaton.
Okay,
I
cool.
do. Yeah, I do. I'm super into it. And it's kind of like the midlife crisis.
Fun.
No, he's been a DJ forever, dude. He's throwing it
Exactly.
down.
No, I'm
He's
just
been a
no,
DJ.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, it was one of those things that I was just like, it was one of those things that was carried over from way back. And then I was like, so like when things went from vinyl to digital, I was like, oh, you know what? Now I can like go in and do it. So I'm super into it.
Because I always think about all the music in your videos. You always had the best music, the best taste in music. So that makes sense.
Well, yeah. So like I'm like very addicted to like my DJ style is like a live remix thing. So I figured out a way to do live mashups, but like just yeah. So I'll take like snippets of Beastie Boys. I'll take basically what it is how the Beastie Boys created their songs were created.
Yeah.
Doing that live, like so finding the original sample. I'll find the original sample of something. In fact, I literally 5 minutes before we got on this track or on this on this call on this track. 5 minutes before, 5 minutes before I got on this call, I found the original or the incredible bongo band had this song called something, shoot, or Incredible Bongo, some kind of bongo song. That's actually the sample in the beginning of Looking Down the Barrel of a Gun. It's like that, and I was like, oh, there it is. So then I was already messing with that original song, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, on my Tuesday set, I'm on this, it's called a raid train, where one goes into the next, and you I'm with all these DJs that do live remixes. So
That's awesome.
They send me in, like, so a guy will go before me for an hour, and then they take the whole stream, and you go to me, and then, hey, I'm DJ Eaton from Philadelphia, let's go. And then I do my set, and then in an hour go, all right, we're going to so-and-so. And it's kind of like a festival, like an online festival.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah, I was already going, oh, wow, I'm going to open with that bongo band. I'm going to go into Beastie Boys, and then I'm in that tempo, and I'm going to build, like, I just build a set and then do it. But that's
awesome.
Yeah.
I love mashups. That's all I like to listen to now, is just mashups. That's it.
Yeah. So fun.
No,
Wait, I got a quiz.
No music. No,
I got a
it's just mashups.
freestyle quiz for the group.
Okay.
This reminds me of one of my favorite music cues in a BMX video or skate video, even or just a BMX skate video music cue is Follow the Leader, Eric B. and Rakim.
Oh yeah.
Who, Mark, you can't answer this, obviously. What part used that song, Follow the Leader?
That was Dorkin 3, and that was
Kevin Jones.
spot.
Yep.
It's
Good call.
goosebumps
Two.
every time
Dorkin 2.
thinking about that.
Dorkin 2.
Was it
That-
2?
Dorkin 2.
It was the opening,
Oh.
right? Wasn't it the opening? And he does that long. What's that trick he keeps doing? Is it a hitchhiker? Is that what it was called?
Or whiplashes, but like
Whiplashes.
there's like it's hard to explain. Like, it's hard to, I don't even really remember.
It's
Holding
kind of
the
like
tire.
but he's like stepping around the bike. He keeps stepping around it. He's on the front pegs, and he does it for like
Yeah,
Whiplash.
miles.
Whiplash, yeah.
Whiplashes down the hill. He does like 30 of them.
Or
And there's a counter.
hitchhiker whips. Could
I
be
think it's a
hitchhiker whips.
hitchhiker
He
whip.
wasn't doing
Yeah.
hitchhiker whips. He did hitchhiker in 3. He
Yeah.
wasn't doing jugglers at
Yeah.
that point.
Right.
Oh,
right.
so the
It's-
long one is that long thing with Follow the Leader is Whiplashes, you think?
If it was,
I
Well-
want
it was
to say
Dorkin
it's
2.
a hitchhiker. I want to
Well-
say.
We gotta pull it up.
Pull it up, Joe.
The,
pull it up.
Wait,
the thing is,
mine on it.
Mark,
I'm going with Joe.
I'm
on this
actually not, I can't even tell you like how it starts, what the intro was. I do know that was in the intro of Dorkin 2. And I do know, I can't think, like, an intro was more like a bunch of like, it was like a montage of everybody. So
But
it
maybe
wasn't really like,
it was right after that. Maybe it was after the intro. It was just this long uncut one take, and he's doing the hitchhiker but stepping around it like the and he does like 40 of them in a row, right?
Yeah.
Oh, down the
Yeah.
hill?
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was he was doing. There's a couple things I think you're doing a memory mashup.
I'm mashing them up. Yeah.
But
a memory match.
because there was the down the hill, like sort of like locked off camera, all those whiplashes. There's that in Dorkin 2, and then it wasn't until like probably Dorkin 4 that he was doing hitchhiker whips, like, you know what I mean? So, but that was a long parking lot, and we would, I would skate along following that for that. So that was to Pinball Wizard, that song, that track.
And so
But-
which one was to follow the leader?
Well, the Follow Leader would have been the intro to Dorkin 2, which had a variety of things. It had like
Okay.
but the thing is, it's iconic. It's an iconic memory that you're remembering. So
Oh, but
you're
they're both
totally-
iconic, and they're both iconic.
yeah. So your mind is mashing it together because you're like,
because I'm old.
It's perfectly normal. It's perfectly nothing to worry about.
that's no,
Yeah.
yeah.
The pinball wizard.
Spike. Oh, go ahead, Svenny.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's the pinball wizard mix-up is probably my favorite part in a movie ever. Yeah,
Thanks.
it's like it's epic.
Thank you.
Hey, CV, you wanted to talk about too, like where freestyle is going and kind of the impact of the Olympics and the X Games. So you want to get into that conversation a little bit too?
Yeah, it's about DIY, I guess. Yeah.
Mm.
So I tell you a story about it. In '87, I put up a BMX and skate contest in a parking lot. I like parking lots, and skateboarding was banned in Norway. It was illegal.
Illegal.
No
So-
way.
No,
Really?
That's
yeah, Norway.
crazy.
That's Norway. And so I got a picture of me in the local newspaper, and the next day, a couple of days later, a couple of uniformed police officers came and picked me up at my school, and they interrogated me to find out who these skaters were.
Did you
Uh,
flip on them or did you
No,
keep your mouth shut?
yeah.
How dare you ask that
Of
question?
course, what the fuck? So a couple of days later, after that interview, I was alone. I was like 14 or 15 years old. So my parents had to go with them. My parents had to go with me to the police station, and my father totally lost it. So he did this to one of the
Went
police
Viking
officers.
on him.
Yeah. He went totally.
Your father beat up a cop because skateboarding was a crime.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's probably the coolest memory of my father.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's my coolest memory.
Yeah.
That is
Exactly.
amazing.
so DIY is kind of a big thing in freestyle and skateboarding, whatever. Yeah. So, and
When did skateboarding become legal? After your
Right.
father kicked the guy's ass? Or
no, 89 actually. It's like
89.
3 years later. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. So we had a very big disadvantage because there were like no skate parks. There were like everything. So we stole a lot of wood and built ramps in the forest. There are actually still some of the ramps that we built still standing. So you can like go hiking and find a ramp like in the middle of nowhere. So I'm kind of proud of that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Can you imagine hiking in Norway and you see like the
Yeah.
Blair Witch half pipe?
It's,
No,
it's cool.
Norway is where Matt did that ride off the cliff, right?
Yeah, I was
that-
there.
Yeah.
Were you
Yeah,
there?
Yeah,
Whoa. What was that
Mm.
like?
it was fun. I like jumping off things. Yeah,
You jump? You do base jumping too?
yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
He's calmer than Brian Blyther, dude.
I
Listen,
know.
it was fun.
I think
So Svenny, when Matt did that, were you there during that whole process of him doing that ride off and that flip?
No, I wasn't involved in it. I
Oh.
was just there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I talked to him.
Sick.
I didn't know if you told him about, oh yeah, there's this place, there's this
Yeah.
ledge, but I guess
No,
Did you broker the deal?
it's really well known. It's the Sharag. It's kind of like beginners jumping place.
Wow.
Wait a
Yes.
second. That was a beginner's jump?
That's a
Yeah.
beginner. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? How does that is to determine a beginner's jump?
It's
You'll
No,
only die in
it's
6
more-
seconds, not 14.
it's
Matt. Yeah, go continue. I'll add on to it then.
It's more like wind direction, so you won't get like smashed into rock if you jump off it. So
Hey,
Takes you
Sven,
out.
let me ask you a question. Okay, so you are a more advanced jumper. How do you deal with the wind in other places? Like, if you're falling, doesn't the wind push you irrespective of your skill level?
yeah,
He's like,
I have been running down hills sometimes, but yeah. So
Wow.
you get out and you
oh,
get back, and then you start trying to pedal. Yeah,
Oh, okay. It's you
Yeah.
have to be skilled to recover from it. It's gonna
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
you anyway, but it's your recovery.
Yeah,
All right, I
yeah.
got you.
yeah.
wow.
Or you're gonna end up dead, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark,
I,
what were you gonna
I
say, Mark?
remember that. Well, Matt had 2 bikes. He only had 2 bikes. He could only do it in 2 takes. So
Yeah.
I think he did a test, and I forget what happened to the test out great or whatever. And he only had one other bike to do it. And he was like, all right, I got to do this where I got to flip and do all that. And that was during, I was making the video Mad Matt at that time. And that's
yeah.
what he was going to put that in.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, I can't remember the exact scenario, but he was like, yeah, this is like, it was like, this is it. We got to make it happen. And,
Yeah.
and then it just very luckily happened for him, really.
Yeah.
But apparently there was a town down below where they took the
Yeah.
recovered bike and put it on the wall in a bar or something,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's still
right?
there. Yeah.
Still there?
But it wasn't his idea because there was a
Oh.
Norwegian, actually a Norwegian doing before him. This is
Yeah.
dubious. This is the team I rode for. My father worked there from all his life, and they made a commercial, and there was this base jumper when I was a kid, and he jumped off that cliff with a bike. So it had been done before, but it was like no one had flipped one before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So credit due to is credit, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you spikes. I bet if you got Matt's bike that's on the wall at the bar, and you got the bike that Matt gave Spike that's just laying there, and you put them side by side, you probably can't tell the difference. They're just 2
Probably
bikes laying
not.
there.
Those were tanks. I never rode one of those. He gave me one, but I never rode it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was during the period of a very heavy, overly produced.
Those Evil
bikes.
Knievel bikes were heavy as shit.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I even got one from Mad Dog. He gave me a Holmes. It was too heavy. I was riding Hutch Hollywood. It was the best bike I ever rode. I
Yeah.
rode everything on it. Yeah.
Nice.
So, CV, did you watch the Flatland and X Games this last or what, a week ago?
Last week, Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you, Sven.
Okay, yeah, of course. I was in London last weekend because of the. Can I do a plug? Because
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
this
plug away. Here we go.
The
Oh.
Viewer Rad. It's a
That's
good
Luke
book.
Delaval on the cover.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a thick ass book.
that was a good one. That's when I got him because I thought, Jim Delaval, you don't know your brother, and I thought, yeah, what the. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I was there.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the Flatland and the or what about the Flatland?
Yeah, what did you think of it?
in the Olympics?
Or
No, in the X
the
Games.
the most
Yeah,
recent
the
one.
X Games was cool, but it was like I know they had a lot of problems in Japan with COVID restrictions, so there were no public
Public
there were
gatherings.
there were no. It was nothing. So that was a bit of a drag, and the commentators was I don't know. They should have had some someone knowledgeable of Flatland commentating, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was kind of cool story when he won. I mean, he came into it from nowhere, just got a free pass and just
An alternate.
Yeah. So
and just
Johnson probably doesn't know the
killed it.
story.
Joe Sisman should explain that.
Yeah, Joe, just go through. So at least
They
Spike
had
and Johnson.
alternates. Okay, they had alternates. And Kyo Hayakawa won the Nora Cup this past year. Dude is just killing it. It's unreal. And so he got Dub's spot. Dub gets to Japan. He gets off the plane. They give him a COVID test, and he tests positive. I suspect that it was a false positive, and because he was, playing hacky sack in his hotel room on Instagram, seemingly fine, and Kyo just crushed everyone. It was unreal.
Can you pull up a clip of Kyo, maybe just off this?
Yeah,
Instagram or
let's
something?
watch it.
Just
Give me a second.
And just I'll give some context. Kyo wasn't, the irony about this is he wasn't even picked as a selector. He wasn't even in the he was just like an alternate.
Yeah, there's 8 riders that they pick, and there's a lot of controversy, like who picked these riders and why didn't Kyo make it when he won the Nora Cup? And he was obviously in the Flatland scene. Everyone was like, this guy should obviously be top.
There was a lot
pick.
of, I don't want to say shit talking, but there was a lot of outrage.
So he flew there just in case that, like, he got tapped as an alternate.
He lives in Japan, so he didn't have to go
Close
too
enough.
far.
Yeah, he was gonna go. Okay.
And he's 20 years old.
Was this like the Rudy of BMX? Was this like the movie Rudy but BMX?
Oh,
no, he's already been crushing
I watched
it.
that movie
He's
last
been
year. I liked
Okay.
Can I just say something? It's like there were a lot of alternates, but they couldn't get into Japan. If you know what I mean.
A lot of what? Say that again.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't go to Japan, so there were only Japanese guys left, or people living.
They couldn't get people from other countries to go.
Yeah.
Because of the
pandemic.
Yeah.
And
right, so
everybody's
that's Matthias and Kyo.
So maybe Joe set up what we're watching, so Joe and Spike know what's going on.
This is the semi-final battle. This is the second bracket. Matthias won his first battle against Terry, and Kyo won his first battle against Varro. And there's that blood on the Chiron again that is completely confusing to me.
So now it's called a battle, like a breakdance battle.
Yeah.
Yes. So they each have 90 seconds, and the clock starts drawing down when they start, and then they got to throw their hand up. This must be Kyo's clock that we're looking at.
I have a feeling we're not going to see a cherry picker.
Matthias just learned that no hand spinning ice cream.
Insane.
It's so good. It's so
there's
good.
no brakes involved, Spike. No brakes on bikes.
Wow, so sick.
Look at that save.
Wow. And he looks
Jesus
dialed too.
And super dialed. Like, can nail that every time.
Yeah.
You should see the ground he does it on, and like shows. It's unbelievable. He can do that on like the sketchiest.
And then this
he's done it on ice.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the alternate.
Here comes the cherry picker.
It's incredible just how much control he's. Look at the mouth posing in the background, by the way.
Yeah.
And those are all street riders. Those are street riders right there.
Yeah. That's Devin Smiley.
Does he have a freewheel or like a
Free coaster?
Free coaster.
He did somewhat of an ant rider too, if you saw that behind the back. Seppi Mays, baby.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
what?
Yo, hey guys, I'm late. Sorry.
Who's that
Who is
guy?
it? Oh,
Who's that guy?
Oh, it's Duke. Hey, how's it going? Where you been?
Oh, hey, Duke.
I'm sorry, I was mowing the grass. Just I'm an idiot.
You must have a lot of grass. Hey, turn your phone so that we can see your whole screen. There you go. And Johnson, you could turn your phone too. We'll see more of you.
Hey, Sisman, do these guys ride to like, do they say like, here's my music and they have like their 90-second run?
So
to,
I
like,
don't know.
whoop, there it is.
No, they in these battles, I think they have a DJ. They don't cut the music in and out.
I say Matthias
I want to
is
have a
killing it.
flatland battle.
That's
We
amazing.
should have a flatland battle.
He's so good.
Mark can DJ it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one time, I ran a little. I got donations to get Mark to surprise show up and spin Voodoo Jam, and he was supposed to just like bootleg it, but he ended up like getting set up next to the primary DJ and just shut the whole place down. Like it was the best.
Yeah, a little backstory.
He won
on
the
that.
DJ battle.
Yeah. so I said I was DJing. I had DJ'd in the
Huff Jam.
Yeah, Huff Jam. And then I said, you know what? Oh, because the New Orleans, Terry Adams New Orleans Voodoo Jam is like a great scenario of this, a battle format. And I said, man, I would like to DJ that event. And then Joe rounded up some money to get. He goes, "How much would it cost to get you there?" And I was like, I gave him a price, and he goes, "Done. Just get there and do it." So I show up in New Orleans with my DJ, with my controller and shit, and I was like, we're like, how are we gonna do this? Because there's already a DJ. Like Red Bull has the DJ there. so I'm like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh," I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna like play a little bit here if you don't mind. And then what happened?
I had to work on Scott and Terry because apparently like several years earlier, like for the first Voodoo Jam, Scott sent an email to Mark to DJ it, and he sent it to another. Like Mark never got it, and so for 10 years, Scott O'Brien had a grudge against Mark Eaton because he snubbed him. And so that gave me the opportunity. Yeah. Oh yeah. And so I
didn't know that
kind of
part.
brokered this piece, and I was like, this does not sound like the Mark that I know. And I asked you about it. You're like, no. And so then, everybody held hands, and we hugged it out. And then you killed it. And dudes were going bananas.
Yeah. It was definitely a good energy. It was a really good energy.
Is he riding with smooth pedals there? Like Keo?
Yeah, the platform.
Yeah, they're
pedals,
like they got grip tape on them. They got grip
Wild.
tape. They're like flat with
Interesting.
grip tape.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's so cool.
Crazy.
Anyone notice that he wears Jordans?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, classic.
So
Kid's
Is it-
rad. He's the future.
Is it pretty like when people think about like who are the godfathers of freestyle and the way it is now? Who are the big writers?
Usually just me.
yeah, Large Ray, pretty much everyone drops that name.
Yeah.
He's the most famous on this call, as you know.
I am.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I am. I know.
I mean,
Or
people still regard Kevin as the godfather.
That's what I would think. Looking at the writing, it seems like this was like Kevin did stuff that nobody else was thinking about, and it seems
How
like
about
this.
Chase?
Yeah,
And
but
Chase. Well, hold on a second. There's the Holy Trinity. It is
Give us a
Kevin,
breakdown.
Chase, and Scott Powell.
That's cool.
And
Hey,
then
Cooper.
Mark
Wild
is
lander of all
credited with Fusion street riding.
Hey,
Mark is still
Cooper.
credited with Fusion street riding.
Is that your
I
dog,
kinda
Cooper?
I can like Jeff Martin on that one.
Hey, Sisman,
Yes.
can you fast forward? I think we got enough people on. Maybe we
Oh,
should
Okay.
get to
Okay.
some of these other
Okay.
stories.
Yeah,
Who's got the
actually,
pit- who's got the
unfortunately,
pitbull?
I gotta step off for a little bit. Can I jump back on a couple hours?
Okay, but we
Is
just
that
got
you
Mike
with
to-
the dogs?
Whose dogs are that? Is that
That's not
Blyther's
me.
Oh,
dog?
that's Brian.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
that's my
Blyther.
dog. My dog's out of control.
Whoa.
All that shit we were talking
Brian.
about Blyther, and there he is.
Hey, look at
Let's
that guy.
What's going on, Spike? How you doing, brother?
Good, great to see you. We were just talking about you.
Oh, very nice, man. Yeah. Thought about you last night when I saw the new Nicolas Cage movie. It's pretty awesome.
That was funny. I saw that too. That was really funny.
It was,
So
you
good.
cracked me up.
How are you doing? How's your world? Where are you?
I'm still out here in Ontario. My world's kind of crazy. Still working. Got one more year left. Then we're gonna pack up and go somewhere. Not sure where.
What's up, Brian? It's Joe Johnson. We were all sharing our scariest Brian Blyther driving story. It lasted
Wait, Joe.
close to an hour.
Wait, Johnson, just to
Yeah.
correct that, we asked what was the scariest driving story, and everyone said it was Brian.
Good.
That's
That's a
how-
good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Except
Very good
for
point.
Brian, we'll say Spike.
Okay, Mike, oh,
Yeah.
please share that story. What is it, Brian? What's your scariest driving story?
Oh well, I got two of them.
Okay.
One of them where we were driving in, I think it was in North Carolina, and he bet me $100 I couldn't go over 100 miles an hour and get two wheels into the grass on the right side of the road, which was probably about 4 feet tall. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's easy. And I thought it was a little fishy because it was just too easy to do. And the second I get both wheels into the grass, he yanks the e-brake.
Oh,
And we went sliding 360s at 100 miles an hour, and we couldn't see anything because the grass was so tall, and it scared the crap out of me. But it was it was amazing. And when
There's
we
no
finally came
way.
to a stop. I don't know if he even expected how gnarly it was, but it was gnarly. But
And you probably
we-
weren't wearing seatbelts either.
well, I
Right?
hope we were, but we probably weren't. Yeah, who
Well, two
knows?
things about that, Brian. That's probably the only time you were scared, if you were been scared. And two, everything I learned out driving, I learned from you anyways. So
Yeah,
learned it
I
all
know. I felt I was proud. It was a proud moment for me, but it was also
it's
scary.
like a dad moment, a proud dad
Yeah.
moment.
The other one
That's
I
so good.
remember is we were returning a car back to the airport, and Spike did another e-brake as we're turning it on this big sharp curve, and we went up on two wheels and just about flipped the thing over. It went all the way up, just about to flip over, and it came back down. I don't remember who was in the car, but I wasn't the only one in the car. That was pretty awesome too.
Spike, you didn't share these stories, Spike.
No.
I credit Brian.
You scared Brian Blyther with
Yeah,
your driving.
I'm proud. I'm proud too. Then
that's quite an accomplishment for sure.
if I could get Brian's heartbeat to go even just above like 48, that would be
Right.
a very proud moment for me.
Yeah.
The California Slacker. I got my California Slacker shirt on.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, those are good
Good.
times. I don't know why those are so clear, but I obviously remember because it freaked me out. But both of those were good ones. And there's I'm sure there's a dozen more that will pop in my head at some point today.
Yeah. Afterward.
What are you doing
Nice.
today, Brian? Are you going surfing with Spike later?
Mike's going surfing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you going? You want to go?
Where are you going? Where you at?
I'd probably go to Zuma.
Oh, you're in Zoom. You're down here. Really? You've been surfing lately?
Trying to, yeah, try as much as I can.
What a
Have you
trip.
been surfing?
I haven't surfed. My problem is I always try to surf in like ridiculous areas where the surf is way too big and I shouldn't even be out there. And that has been my downfall because it wasn't enjoyable. And I would get
Where?
hammered and I think Brazil was one time. Tahiti was another time.
Oh my god!
And both those places were just I had no business even trying.
That's
And
great.
I've never gone on Hawaii or California on small waves. I've never even really tried it other
Really?
than that. Yeah.
Oh, Zuma's like 3 feet. This is like today. It's very easy. That's not like Tahiti is like the gnarliest waves in the world.
Well, I didn't go to like I don't even know what place it was, but it was a place where they were probably 5+ feet, and I shouldn't have been out there. And I just got slapped around, and it
Yeah,
wasn't
you'll
fun.
get pounded.
Hey, Brian, Spike was remembering the time that we left you in Kingsport. So
Ah,
I have to
Kingsport,
say,
Tennessee.
all of us remember that time when we just we're supposed to pick you up, and then we never ended up coming. And so tell us, what was that situation like? You had to sleep out in the cold, and
Well, it wasn't that cold. It was summer, but
Yeah.
it was that Crystal Gale 3 Dog Night?
yeah,
Yeah.
Three Dog Night,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Crystal Gale 3 Dog Night concert was rocking, and the horror show.
And the horror show.
Yeah. So yeah, I met a girl at that concert where, wearing leg warmers and cute thing. And so we met at a Burger King at like 7:30. And I remember Ron saying, "Hey, if you're not back at that same Burger King at 10 o'clock, we're leaving you." And so I went and hung out, and we're at the girl's house, and we're hanging out, and met her parents, and all PG stuff. And then at about 10:30, I was like, "Oh, I gotta go." And so I jammed down to Burger King, and I sat in the parking lot, and it's like 10:45, and I'm like, nothing. And about midnight, I went back to that girl's house and knocked on her window, and we talked for about a half hour, and I was like, well, I guess I blew that. She went in, and I went to this park, and I met these prostitutes that were walking back and forth across this park, and they basically were going from one end of the park to the other end of the park. And I laid right there in the park with my bike, and I had this yellow sweatshirt I put over my knees, wrapped up on my bike, and I just laid there, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna fall asleep. And this one hooker came up to me, and she goes, "Don't worry about it, we got you. I know you're not from around here. We got you. Just fall asleep. We'll watch over you. You're gonna be safe." And I laid my head down and fell asleep. And then in the morning, about 6:30 in the morning, I went driving around town, and obviously no cell phones. I had no money, nothing, no wallet on me, anything. I go to the grocery store, and at the grocery store, there's people coming in and out of the grocery store, and I'm just kind of, I have to ask for some money. I just don't know how to do it. And the family come up to me and say, "Hey, yeah, you were one of the riders at the show. We really enjoyed it, and that was great. My kids loved it." After 5 minutes, I'm like,
Now
you guys
listen
got some
up.
change I can borrow?
Can I
So
borrow?
long story short, I called the bike shop, which was this is a Sunday now. And I called the bike shop on Sunday, and you guys had just got there to get some parts for Ron, and it rang like 20 times, and the dude answers, he's like, "Man, we were just leaving." And I got picked up and saved, or I probably would still be living in Kingsport,
Yeah,
Tennessee.
you'd still be in Kingsport. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That is
But
a
yeah,
crazy
it's scary,
story.
scary.
So Brian, the story lines up because Spike was thinking it was midnight we had to pick you up, but you said 10 o'clock. And he said that he remembers Ron saying after 45 minutes, we gave him 45 minutes, we're out of here. So if you got there just after that, we just missed you.
Yeah, it sounds, I get it. I get it. It's rough. I felt bad, but I get it. I guess it's a story. I've never slept with a prostitute before, except for that night. But,
I heard
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Well,
two
no,
prostitutes.
there was multiple ones. They were picking my brain. I was picking we were just talking for the longest time. And, they were definitely working girls, and they talked about their life. And I kind of told them what I was doing there and what happened. And they were laughing. And I ultimately felt comfortable falling asleep, and I did.
That's great.
Good. Good. That was the first tour stop that I was on with you guys too. Like,
Is it really?
wild. Yeah. We just left DC the night before.
Yeah, we threw you into the hot water.
Yeah. I was like, these guys are crazy. Also, the funny thing is, I remember you calling it Burger World, but I thought it was a Burger King. I was like, oh, these guys call Burger King Burger World. These guys are cool.
Since I was a little kid, I called it Burger World. And I don't know why.
That's so funny.
That's funny you say that, because I still call it Burger World.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know why I call it that. But we got a couple of Burger Worlds around here.
So what was the best photo session, Brian, that you ever had with Spike?
Oh, the best photo session. I remember an interesting one where we were doing an interview. Me and Mike D were doing an interview, and we got in my car, and Spike thought it'd be a good idea if we started drinking. He thought the interview would be a little bit better. So we did. and we started driving around and talking. And throughout the whole day, we got an interview in, and then we rode the ramp. And that's the time where he put he taped a video camera to my bike, kind of the first GoPro, and got a pretty good picture of me doing a look down with Mike D on the deck. I always thought that was pretty cool.
That was a great photo, but it wasn't a GoPro. It was my actual Nikon with my fish eyes, like my nice camera.
Yeah, it was
to your chest somehow. And I put a cable release. We taped the cable release to your butt, your handlebar. So you took
my
the
handlebars.
photo.
Yeah, I know. It was like the first GoPro.
Wait, so who got the credit for that photo? Was it Spike or was it Brian?
It was Brian.
Yeah, I took the photo.
And Mike D is on the ramp behind.
And that was after drinking. That was after drinking all afternoon.
Well, I don't remember.
Driving,
I don't remember the
riding.
Yeah, I think we rode first and then did the interview second, possibly. If that would be safer.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a picture right there.
There it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is that me? That's me too.
Yeah, you guys both there chilling.
I wondered how I always
That's
wondered
cool.
how that was taken. Actually, I always did back then. Yeah.
Yeah, you did that in
job,
Colorado
Joe.
Springs. You did that with Matt Hoffman too, I think, right? It wasn't there.
Yeah. Once we figured it out, like I think, maybe that year, we learned how to do the rig, and I forget, it was like I ended up with Matt. I did it more properly with like a neoprene Velcro vest that I cut a hole in the middle, so it was more stable than the first time.
Okay.
Hey, Spike, what about the
That's
time when you were at the first time that Matt did either the 900 or the backflip? No, I think it was the backflip flare when he did the first flare. Do you remember that?
It was the first backflip fakie in Paris. That was the first time I ever saw any backflip, but he did fakie. It was a quarter pipe.
Because Matt was telling the story, he went over to you and he said, "Okay, Spike, be ready because I'm going to do something big." But I thought it was the flare. But was it just a regular backflip to fakie?
It was the cover, right?
It was the cover, cover go, and it was a backflip fakie, and I think he started to try the flare, but he hadn't done it on didn't want to do it on a quarter pipe, and but yeah, there it is right there. That was
that is sick.
We were in Paris, and we were like we got there a couple days early, and we were sharing a hotel room, and we didn't speak French, and we just get on the subway and go get lost, and we didn't have any. We had a French dictionary, but not any French money, and so we just jumped the turnstile and go wherever it would go, and then end up in a museum and sneak into the Louvre, and it was really fun.
Wow.
I remember sitting there trying to come up with tricks with him, and we'd we'd have a pen or something, and we'd be like, "What about this? What about that?" And I was trying to pitch him to do a corkscrew air, and he was like, "Well, actually." And then he hadn't told anybody, but for the month earlier, he'd been in the warehouse with mattresses on the bottom of the ramp, trying to learn the flare. And he said, "I actually landed one." And then I was like, I was like, "Are you going to do it tomorrow?" He's like, No, I can't do it on that quarter pipe. I don't want to do it on that quarter pipe. And then halfway through the show, or towards the end of the show, he came over. He's like, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." And so I went and got the sequence camera, the black and white Nikon with the motor drive, and got the shot. And I was like, it was insane. It was huge arena. It was like Bercy Stadium. So it was how many ever 12,000 people or something. It was epic.
Yeah,
I was there.
You were
I
there.
was there.
You were there?
You were there. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
No
I was
way.
I was there for the flare too, but that was in England, London, and I broke my collarbone because someone jumped over me.
Somebody jumped over you. when
Really?
Matt
Was it
landed?
Joe Johnson? Was it Joe Johnson? Maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Probably Joe Johnson. So Brian, you missed earlier, but we basically just pulled one over on both Joe Sisman and Joe Johnson because as you see, Spike's screen says Luke. So Luke was the guy that pushed the button on the microwave that large Ray filled.
There's Luke.
Hey Luke.
Hey, Luke.
Hey, welcome back,
Hey.
Luke.
Oh, it's Brian Blyther. What's up,
Yeah.
Blyther?
The voice, I can't take it, man.
Blyther's rad.
You never liked Joe Johnson though. Luke did not like Joe
Yeah,
Johnson.
he did not like Joe Johnson because Joe Johnson
No.
cut him off on the enchanted ramp, and basically poor Luke broke his foot. and had had several surgeries. And
Yeah.
I don't know,
His
Spike's
brother
story
Jim
was-
always thought Joe. Yeah, his brother Jim thought I was cool all the time, but Luke never really thought I was any very cool. So it was a lot of awkward situations in this call earlier.
I tried my best, Joe.
too
I
funny.
tried my hardest.
Oh,
That was good.
So Duke, what's going on with you after you got your lawnmower? How's things? I thought you could come on and talk a little bit about the X Games, but you're a little late to the party, I must say.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We can have you back.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts about the Flatland and the X Games? I mean, it's been 20 years since we got to see
Well,
that.
I think that they lack qualifying, so it's a little weird. I thought nobody rode well except for Keo. That's what
Yeah.
I thought. I thought Matthias rode well, but I don't know. That's what I think. Yeah.
So you think there should be more qualifying so that we have
So I actually I was texting with Ephraim, and he was telling me that there's kind of a miscommunication with the judges. Like the Japanese guys thought that they were supposed to be going for like really badass tricks, like one badass trick. Like you saw Uchi try the same trick the entire contest,
Yep.
right? You're like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And yet the judges were told that they were supposed to be based on pulling their tricks and touches counted against you. So you notice the European and the American guys were all kind of riding a little safer, if you will. Like Alex Jumelin didn't do anything but boomerangs and G-turns, really, in my opinion. I mean, he was doing more than that, but it just didn't seem like there's any bangers in there, and yet he got second place. So I think there's a miscommunication of the judges, and I think that's a problem. If it's the X Games, it should be but I mean, it's their first go at it.
Wait a second. Let me get this straight. What you're saying is Uchi was under the impression that the rules were drop the hammers, and everyone else was under the impression, including the judges, that touches count.
Okay, let me explain. So Ephraim actually said that the Japanese dudes knew that it was based on, not touching and consistent
Right.
runs, but they didn't like that. And so they all went for hard banger tricks. At least this is how I understood Ephraim. So it's
It was
weird.
a Japanese protest.
In a sense, exactly. And if you look at all the Japanese guys, they were going for really hard tricks, whereas the European guys and the Americans, not so much.
Oh,
I mean, Matthias's stuff is all dialed and consistent and badass. It's everything. And I thought he wrote great. All that no-handed turbine. He's got a bunch of new
Ice
stuff.
cream.
Like,
Yeah,
I thought
ice
he
cream,
wrote
yeah.
great. I was really impressed. I thought he was just modeling these days, but apparently he's riding too. So that's my take on it. Hopefully they do better next year.
Hey,
I
sorry to
think it's
interrupt.
interesting. I'm
Oh.
sorry, I don't mean to cut anyone off, but I think it's interesting that Dub went all the way over there and didn't get to compete, and then Keo, who was a stand-in, got to compete and won the contest. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Conspiracy.
What was that, Spike?
Oh, I just sorry to interrupt. I
Conspiracy.
gotta jump off the phone but it was so fun to talk to everybody. So good to see
Spike Jones,
everybody.
you're a big hero, man. It's good to see your face. Awesome.
Yeah,
Nice
thanks,
to meet
Spike.
you. Pleasure.
Yeah,
Dave,
thanks, Spike. Good seeing you, man.
great to
Honor.
see
Love you, brother.
Mark Ray, Mark.
Peace
pleasure.
out.
And I'm so glad I got to see Brian. I got to see you for a minute. So good to see you. Great.
All right,
Brian, the
love you, brother.
reunion,
We'll come surf with you
reunion's
soon.
going. Reunion,
Come surf.
reunion is happening to Hatchby this year, right? You usually make it up to those, Brian, right? I know you missed last year, but
Yeah,
Dude,
it was
Woodward
COVID hit
West.
our house last year, but I'm down this year.
yeah, cool.
Yep, I'll be there.
See you there, Spike.
All right.
See you
Be
there.
good, you guys.
See you,
Bye,
Spike.
guys.
Go.
Good job.
Wow. How'd you get Spike Jones on the podcast? Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Fucking know people.
You have to watch what he did to Joe Johnson. It was
And you,
Amazing.
and Joe
Wait,
Simpson.
that wasn't being recorded,
oh
was it?
yeah.
Was
I
that being
mean, he
recorded?
like.
Jesus.
I'll watch.
Ray and I,
Dave,
Incredible.
Dave, we definitely got two for the price of one right there.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
That was so
Yeah.
good.
That
We
was
were
pretty
not
funny.
even anticipating. Once Spike confirmed, he's like, "Oh, I got a lot to a lot to talk about with Joe Johnson. And
He
went
kept
to
going
town.
back to it. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I really like
Yeah.
Well, that's
bike
what I-
riding, but now I can't.
That's what I thought was
Yeah.
going to give
and
it
Joe's
away.
and Joe's like, hey, I'm really sorry. How can we
Yeah.
make this right?
What
What can I do to make it
But-
right?
but-
Yeah.
but
I
my-
don't even know if
my
we can give you
foot's-
an answer on that. There's nothing I could do. It's just we need to move on.
And then while that was going on, Spike was texting Dave and I going, "Do you think Joe's on to me?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, keep going."
Keep going. Keep going.
No, I was definitely suspicious. He mentioned he said he had a Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. He knew
That was
that,
great.
he said that he had one and I had one, and he thought maybe I was jealous of his Thunderbird, and so I knew Spike knew that I had a Thunderbird. He busted my balls years ago about that. So I was thinking there was something up from the get-go, and I was watching him very closely throughout the whole thing. I was watching him like, is that Spike? Is that Spike?
Oh, really?
A couple times in his voice,
Yeah.
when he was talking about the Thunderbird, his voice went back to Spike Jones, and I was like, "Oh, here he's gonna let it out." I thought he was gonna slowly transition into his natural voice, and then you guys were gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
Well, Eaton and Ray, you guys were both like when you respond to some things that he said or asked about, and just the way you were kind of treating him made it. And I'm like, all right, maybe this really is this Luke guy, the way, because they
Well, that's the thing,
like
is
they've known him for a long time. Like, all right, go ahead, Luke. We're good.
Yeah, I was telling Mark earlier in the day. I called Eaton and I was like, "Look," and when we were talking about it, I said, "Don't even refer to him as Spike right now. When Luke gets on, you got to tell Luke this. You got Luke." I'm like, and while I was explaining that to Eaton, I kept saying Spike, and I'm like, we have to. In your mind, like 10 minutes before, you gotta be like, "Hey, we're gonna talk to Luke Delaval." So that's what my main thing was. I had to get into like this is just Luke we're talking to, because
yeah.
And it's hard for me to get in the character because I am the character. Me, you know what I mean? So
I was so close to like trying to mediate this by saying, Joe, do you think that Luke actually snaked you and it didn't work out well for him?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to find a forensic explanation for this.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, so Brian, he said that I snaked him on a run on the enchanted ramp, and I caused him to go off the side of the ramp and break his toe, and ended up having surgery, a couple of surgeries, infection.
He was done. He was done.
Yeah, he was done. That was it.
Riding. That ended his career.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joe, man, that's a bummer.
Yeah. I guess apparently I
killed his career.
had that reputation of snaking people back in the like he kept. You had that reputation, Joe, back then of snaking people. Everyone like, what? Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I had heard. And I mean, I know that's why I saw it firsthand.
And I used to like you. You used to be my hero, and now.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, that's
that was wild.
He never smiled. Spike never smiled the whole
Right.
time he
The
was
whole
being
time.
Luke. He was just like straight.
He was so good.
Okay,
Who
he came on with shade right off the top too.
Yeah. Well, and Dave, you're just like, hey, Luke, can you put it on gallery mode? I mean, like you were chastising him about his Zoom abilities or something initially. It seemed like.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, Sisman, can you go down your list really quick, because we got several people still on the call, because we're running out of ideas, and we want the show to continue.
Yeah,
but-
I have.
So.
I have some ideas to pitch for
And we're kind of at the
shows.
end of the call, so you're just going to have to rapidly go through it, and Ray's going to have to do his best not to
we
tell
would
a
like to
story.
get.
Well, that's why we got
to
Mark. Mark's going to
feedback.
tell us what's up.
Okay.
Okay, so
The fake fast plant.
Okay. Here. So you got to read
All
it,
right.
Joe, because people that are
I know.
that are just listening.
I have to move my thing up. Okay, so this is from the Reset, a wholesome, life-affirming idea to talk about specific examples of how riding has improved or changed or directed the course of one's life. So in my own life, riding put a camera in my hand so I could film sessions and complete the global flat online battles. I don't know where that came from. 10 years later, I had a career based on that. Okay.
Okay, so
I
life
don't like
affirming.
that idea.
Life
The next
affirming.
one is Ray says worry.
What's that mean?
Can you just say the word?
What are you worrying about? Wow, we're supposed to say wary? Are you making fun of my Philly accent? It's a
I'm
Philly
not
accent.
making fun. I just thought it might be interesting to.
Okay, next
look a little,
topic.
you
Next
know.
topic. Come on,
Okay, okay. Dave apologizes to Ray and Joe for bullying the wrong pronunciation of Joe's last name. Matt Wilhelm joins as Dave's apology coach.
Okay.
E-frame and pro rider responsibility. Dave apologizes to Joe Johnson for apologizing to Joe Johnson for the ants in the pants bits. Dave learns to pronounce Ray's surname.
Slapwick.
I still don't like it when he says Queen of Russia. That's not even funny. Like, and he does it with such a smile on his face, and it's just not even funny. It's just like nothing's funny about it.
Okay.
I don't care about that. People have been mispronouncing my last name forever, so I don't even care about that.
But Queen of Russia is just, it's gone too far.
Not
Okay,
funny. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
no, it's not going too far. It's just not funny. It's just if it was funny, I would be like, yeah.
He's trying to tamp it down, I think.
Okay, Joe Wait,
Joe apologizes to Phil
Which Joe?
Dolan.
Sisman?
Me.
Okay.
The penance show. Brett Downs, I think as a penance to asymmetrical information, you need to spend a month riding with one of your pegs, one GT fork stander, the Skyway peg, and a Pacific Freestyle fork stander.
Whoa.
This
Okay.
one got deep.
I like that one.
Dave tries to convince Joe to do a workshop on his relationship with pain and anguish for next year's Summit 43.
Okay.
Stoney asked about Dave about Nori bikes. Joe proposes Dave design a frame optimized for the Gumby. If any of these are standing out as great ideas, just call out and vote. Guests do their pre-session stretch routine while we talk about it.
This will get lots of ratings, I'm sure. Okay.
Joe and Dave pitched John Bulgens on aspiring movie concepts.
That's a good one.
Inspiring. Cult babies. Dave notices that Joe has created a cult which annexes media outlets. Dave realizes the true meaning of the liberal elite global BMX media and the long game agenda of the Terradome Sports Science Research Center.
All right.
Believe I have a list of I think that a lot of BMX is actually spawned from different cults, and when Chase was a cult jumper, and I think he ended up making cult babies, but we can get to that later.
I think we're gonna lose them pretty quickly, but continue.
Okay.
Hey,
Joe
actually, guys,
apologizes to Dub.
sorry to break in. I got to jump off the call, unfortunately. And yeah,
Actually,
appreciate the what's that?
Happy birthday, Joe. We'll see you
Happy
next
Oh,
time.
that's right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the Boston
Later, brother.
accent stuff. Was
Later.
yeah. See you guys later.
Yeah, good seeing you, Joe.
That was
Bye.
fun. Thanks a lot, guys.
Was that Joe Jones?
That was your Joe apologizes to Dub.
Joe apologizes to Dub. How to celebrate. Oh, the Todd Gully Jomo chair toss. That was a pretty spectacular moment. Joe apologizes to Brian Huffman for Huffgate. Lee Musselwhite and Joe explain their friendship history. And like my history with Lee Musselwhite is like Charlie Murphy and Rick James. The Week in Memes, and Joe can apologize for all of them. Jerry Milborn, I think this is just someone I think he should be on. Yeah, Lalo's wish was for me to learn a ninja flip with no fewer than 1 bar flips and document my progress by video with 0 instances of trolling or parody. It's a very hard trick, and I tried it for
I
a
don't-
long session.
I don't like any of these so far. I hope you got more
Yeah.
as we go to
I've
to
got
21.
43.
Yeah,
Lalo breaks
just
down
do
Joe's.
just do every third one now. Go ahead.
Okay, Summit 43, everyone gets a digital. Oh, wait, that one, we already did that. Oxter Gov, this guy is awesome.
Who's Octagon?
Wait, there's my name. This one's good.
Getting stuff off your chest with Ray. You
Yeah.
get a bunch of dudes, like everyone picks up the phone when Ray calls.
Right. I like that
Okay,
one.
that would be good.
Yeah, that
Black
one's
Bible
perfect.
DM
I'd stop
guest.
right there.
We did that one. Okay. I don't think these are very good.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
think
no.
They seem
Anyone
better
with
when I
my
wrote them
name on
down.
There were two with my name that I
All right.
think were solid.
okay. Well, we
Hey,
could just
Mark,
call-
Mark, do
this
you
would-
run out of gas twice a month?
I've run out of gas. I mean, like if I want to be real about it,
Don't-
I've run out of gas in my life
No, whatever his
3
answer
to
is right here, it's a lie.
4 times in my life, and
Okay.
it was because and they weren't in my
Bullshit.
car. They weren't in my
Okay.
vehicles.
When we ran out of gas, it was on Valentine's Day, and we were both racing home to be with our brides. Mark calls his wife and says, "Hey, I'm going to be a little late." Her response, "Oh my God, did you run out of gas again?" Fucking, that's exactly what she said. You know it, and I know it.
I don't know that.
Yes, she goes, "Did you run out of gas again?" And I was fuming. So if he ran out of gas again, that's twice right there.
Well, so yeah, but anyway, 4 times. So 4 times in a lifetime is
No.
yeah.
So let's take a survey, Brian. Brian, how many times have you run out of gas? And that's not because you're going 120. I mean, just talking about driving down the road.
I'm sure I have. I can't remember a time, but I'm sure I've run out of gas. At least once.
And also full disclosure, Ray and I were in Warren's car just
That means
talking,
nothing.
just bullshitting. We were just
Doesn't
talking.
matter.
We weren't looking at,
Doesn't matter.
It comes down to
A
it comes
pilot
down
always
to
has
me.
to. Hey, Blyther, if you had to jump into another guy's cop car and you're chasing somebody, are you going to look at the fucking gauges to see where you are in the car, where the guy's buttons are, whether he's got gas? You're going to give a quick little scan, right?
Immediately you look at the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah!
You're right. You're right. We did look at the gas 8 hours ago, 6 hours ago.
Okay, Duke, how many times have you run out of gas, Duke?
You're asking me?
Yeah, you.
Oh man, I don't have that many fingers and toes. I don't think. But I always keep my bike in the back, so you can always pedal to the gas station. I think we've all been there.
Ray,
I
how
used
many
to have
times
a
have you
rabbit.
run
I
out
had
of
a
gas?
few rabbits, and the fuel gauge never worked, so it's not my fault. It was a guessing game.
Ray, hey, Ray, how many times have you run out of gas in your entire life?
Oh,
And you drive
Ray.
for a living?
Ray, how many
Oh.
times have you ran out of gas?
0.
0.
That's
I have
impressive.
never run out of gas.
You must be a
I've
professional
never-
driver.
I am, and I've never even come close to running out of gas. When that thing's starting to get close to Elvis, I go right to the petrol store and I fill it up. It's first priority.
That's
you
why
know, 'cause
that's
he-
why he has such an allergic reaction to Mark running out of gas.
Yeah.
Right,
because
exactly. Yeah,
that's his-
if
Because
I
he's-
run out of
he's-
gas
his code,
10
his
So
times,
life
worried
code.
about it. He's so
I'm
worried
not-
about it, and
no.
I am so not
I'm-
worried about it.
I'm not. That's the thing is. The reason is I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about running out of gas because
Wait,
I know
what?
I'll never run out of
He's
gas.
not
Wait,
worried?
what?
Hold on. What is he? That was a
I'm
good
not
setup.
worried.
That was a great
I'm
setup.
It was so good, Joe. You set him right up.
yeah.
You walked him right
Yep.
into that.
The long
Yeah, you
game.
Motherfuckers.
Long game.
I'm not worried at all.
Okay, so I think we have our next show, Joe. It's going to be about gas. I mean, that's what we're going to cover. Everything
Yes.
about gas.
The metaphysical psychic.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
same guy that made the shirt you're wearing had Mark and I on bitching about this whole gas thing, and he made a Mark Eaton gas can shirt, and I have it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. There's only
Joe-
one, and I own it.
Joe, are you not driving the Tesla yet? Seems like that'd be up your alley.
I'm driving a Jeep,
A
and
Jeep.
I love it. A tiny Jeep.
Okay.
No.
Runs on gas.
Runs on gas. And
It's not
every
even
so
one of them
often
hybrids.
I just
You got to get a hybrid. I will
No.
always say hybrid, by the way. My goal in life is to go to a dealership and call a hybrid a hybrid and make the guy fucking say it.
if he's trying to sell you a hybrid, he'll call
If
it
he,
a
yeah, I'm
hybrid.
like, I want to look at one of them hybrids.
Let's get it in his head, then he'll start saying it too.
Fuck yeah.
You can get rad in a hybrid.
Yeah, you can.
Hey, what happened to the
That's
poster
inside.
of Brian Blyther? Did it fall down? Look
What are you
behind
talking about?
Speaking of hybrid,
No, the poster of Brian Blyther is missing now.
Oh, Sven, what happened to you? Did
It's
you
still
take
here.
it down when Brian?
Yeah, I'm a
That's
fan.
him.
It's the only guy I ever been a fan of.
Really, is
used-
Brian Blyther?
Yeah, I used to order pizza and stuff as Brian Blyther.
Oh,
Oh,
We got an imposter. He'll arrest you
Yeah.
for that today if you do that.
But I'm
hey,
sorry,
can I
Bring
Brian.
ask
your dad
Brian?
in to
Can I
fight
ask
him.
Brian a question? Brian Blyther,
No.
Yeah.
No, you're not allowed.
pretty please.
Not allowed. Yes, you can. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask anyways, even if Ray won't give me permission. Is
No,
the
you can, you
story
can.
true? The story of Slash GNR concert pointing at Brian saying, "Hey, I know you." Is
Yeah.
is there any basis in that story, or is that folklore?
no, that's mostly true. I was with Bill Silva, who's the promoter of their show, and he took me to a concert, and I don't remember where we were at, but it was Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith tour, and Slash was
shit.
backstairs riding his old red line bike around backstage, and I was tripping out. He was riding it all over, and through the trucks and in the building and everywhere.
Slash was
So,
actually riding a bike.
Yeah, he had a bike.
Okay.
And so
All right.
Bill called him over, and he came over and he says, "Hey man, this is Brian Blyther. He's a biker." And Slash was like, "No way, I know who you are." Because I used to watch
No
you
way.
on Group W cable all the time. I grew up and it was like Covina or somewhere out here. And he goes, "I used to watch you on cable TV all the time from the pipeline." And so
That's
anyway,
awesome.
we met, and he was super cool. And I gave him my bike. I gave him a brand new, Haro Sport that he hopefully still now. I hope he rides that backstage wherever he's at now.
No shit.
that's
It's a
cool.
true story.
Yeah, it's cool. He was a cool dude.
Slash, because it's because of that. Slash was on the list of potential narrators for Joe Kid on the Stingray. Also,
Oh, that
Slash
was cool.
Oh, really?
Slash,
He's a BMX
Lenny
fan.
What?
Lenny
What's that?
Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz was Lenny Kravitz was our number one. Like that was my number one pick for it, and
Okay.
we just couldn't get a hold of him. We couldn't connect. But Lenny rode BMX in the '80s. He was like fully into
Oh,
it.
really?
And I thought Lenny's voice would be a good narration voice, and then it just so happened that like Jesse James saw the trailer because our friend Jay worked at Jay Squarlow was a welder at
What-
West Coast Choppers.
Monster Garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
West Coast Choppers, and Jay worked for S&M for many years too. Like even like before and like he was in SoCal welder, and he was like, "Hey, I showed it to Jesse. He might be interested in being a part of it." And then we just kind of threw it, and it worked. And then there's that. But Lenny and Slash were on the list of like potential hopeful.
I
narrators.
was
a trip.
too. I was fourth on the list.
Yeah.
Luckily, they didn't have to go to me.
What was Slash interested? Was he actually considering doing it?
No, I mean it's not. It wasn't. He didn't look. We didn't get to him. We
Okay.
got like
He was
it
just
hit.
an idea.
It didn't hit. He was our like. He was a go-to. He was like had we not gotten Jesse in, and had we had continued fighting for the Lenny thing, Slash was next. But I think Slash would have done it. I really do. I think he would have like probably done it.
Why
So
is
if
Joe
Jesse
Kid on
had
this-
gotten COVID, then Slash would have been the alternate.
Phil, yeah, he would have
Exactly. There's an angle. Yep.
I thought Jesse James was great though. I thought he did a good job. That was good.
Yeah.
And he was
It
a
was-
big
it was-
deal at the time too. So
Yeah,
It
he
was
was.
timing,
He
yeah,
was.
the
He was like a
timing.
main. Yeah.
Timing of it all,
what?
yeah.
How come we can't see Joe Kid on the Stingray on like Netflix right now, or it's not on YouTube? You have to buy it
It's
still, right?
We just haven't been able to get a deal. We haven't been able to try to sell it, and I'm sure it can happen. So I'm trying to figure that out, how to get it there. Like because there's plenty of streaming platforms. Amazon would be a spot too. So it's gonna get there. It just
Make that happen. It was good.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, are you working on any projects that you could talk about?
No, not necessarily. Not like legitimate. Not officially, or not
Legitimate. He's got a
Not
porn
legitimate.
site called mylefthand.com where
Yeah,
he
I
whacks
mean,
it to his favorite.
it's-
He whacks it to his favorite porn, but
It's
there's really not a
interactive.
market for that right now.
It's it's interactive. No,
It's
not really.
It's interactive.
Interact.
What kind of lotion do you use, Mark? Today I'm using
It's
Peruvian
it's
coconut
sponsored,
oil.
brand deals, brand deals. There's the things like that. Yeah. No.
Jurgens to sponsor that.
Mylefthand.com.
Joe, I don't know where to go from here. You got to step in. I think it's going too far.
Well,
Yeah.
so
You can never go too far. We can talk about anything we want, and we haven't
Anything.
watched my AFA run yet.
oh yeah, so I have a
No, don't play.
I do have a great idea. So
Okay.
Brian, do you think that you could get Slash to be Ray's stunt double and jump Pastrana Land?
7 for 7.
Wow.
Lyler, watch this run. man.
Probably not.
I don't know if you ever seen it.
Are there firecrackers in this run? I hope so.
Yeah.
It was
They're in my
indoors.
pants.
I know that
Yeah.
Ray's going to do it, so we don't need a stunt double.
Ray ain't doing
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Right.
Joe, we don't have to watch this again. It's cool. We're good. That's enough.
No, we
No, we're
have.
watching it
I-
every
I
episode.
do have an idea. I do have a show idea. We
Okay.
get
Watch
a
this mucus
breakdown. We get a full-on breakdown of this run from top Flatland pros. of this
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Keo
Like Terry
Hayakawa
Adams, Mel-
does this.
Can we get it? Can we get it digitalized like they did the Beatles video? Like how
Yeah.
great that is. We could send it to their place and get it just like HD, where you can see like the paint coming off my Moto Mag on the back.
Great use of the course.
If we had a
Todd
better
Carter hasn't
picture of
shared
that
this.
bike, you would die. The bike itself is unbelievable.
What's on your number
Between
plate?
the-
What's on the front of the number plate?
It's 666 and James Hetfield with my face on it.
With your face on it.
Yeah.
He's got a black
But-
Skyway and a white Skyway, which is cool.
No, I have a Moto Mag on the back, a big metal Moto
Yeah.
Mag because I was doing rock walks. But my bike is a Harry Leary Turbo. It's a Harry Leary Turbo race bike because I had
Ray,
broken
you
every
need to recreate that bike, Ray. You need to recreate that
You
bike.
can't. I could. I know exactly what I had on it. I really do.
You got top
I have-
tail whip style.
Oh wait.
So-
Hey, Joe, that's
Yeah.
the bike that Mickey was riding when she crashed. That is the bike.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that was like 2 days after this.
Do
It
you
was
have a
right
front
after
brake?
this.
Do you even have a front brake
I
on
have,
there?
I have front, back, and coaster.
You're
Wow.
biting
Yeah.
Brian's tail whip.
Yeah,
He invented that trick.
yeah, he did. He may have.
How do you feel about that,
says
Brian?
he did, but Jose Yanez may have too.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, Brian just said that there's probably 100 people that made up the tail whip. He's just the one that got it in the magazine.
Yeah, there's
don't
no way to
believe
tell.
that.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, Ray's doing them well there.
You goddamn right.
There was a lot of luck. There was a lot of luck in that run, right, Ray?
A lot of luck. Are you kidding me? Dude, I rode every day with Dave Pack. I got laid off from my job, so I would ride with Dave Pack every day. That, and like I said before, all those tricks were really easy. You know what I mean? Those tricks were easy, and I just had them dialed. I mean, like to dial, I did 3 tricks, the whole thing. So I am surprised that I pulled off all those tricks. And but the thing is, I had the crowd behind me, and it wasn't a very good run, but the crowd was like, "Oh, here's Ray!" Yeah, and they're screaming. So that's why I got a better place than other people, just because the crowd was way into it, and I think the judges were pumped up. I'm a
The
spectacular rider.
The judges were swayed by the energy. The energy
Yes.
was swaying them. Yeah.
There you go.
Like it was a false.
There's nothing false about that. That was a true
I'm
fucking
joking.
freestyle legend. That was a freestyle legend right there performing for the masses.
Maybe
People there, it was like a religious.
energy
People were
category.
like, people were leaving that arena crying like a like a religious experience. They saw Large Ray, the kid from nowhere that had no skills, no future, no history, and he banged it out. School
And
children sing
meanwhile-
songs about me.
Okay. Here's another sidebar of that. Meanwhile, at that same contest, Chris Lashua sees a dude
Do a double tail whip,
whiplash, do a double
whiplash,
and go,
and quits.
I'm done.
He quits.
That's it.
Yep,
Chris Lashua quit.
true
Because
story.
he saw some like just random dude do a double whiplash, and Chris Lashua couldn't do a single or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time to quit.
Time to quit.
And
When do you hang it up? When do you call it quits?
yeah, I
Whenever
like
you want to.
with the
After
benefit
large
of
ray.
hindsight, that seems a
Never.
little bit gun jumping.
Joe's gonna quit when his warranty on his hot tub runs out. It dies. He won't be able to ride
No,
anymore.
I'm gonna get another hot tub.
You'll get another hot tub.
I'll get another one. That's
I
the
can't
thing
believe
is
you don't have a
instrumental.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. No.
A guy with your snazz and pizzazz should have a Tesla, the good one too.
I hear
Right?
they're
That's
really
what I was
cool
thinking.
that they've got
Gadgets
gadgets
Jeep.
and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
I like this Jeep thing.
You're keeping it real. You want to be a man of the people, right? You just want to be
I-
like everybody else.
Snow.
You don't want people to point.
Mud.
You do live out in the boonies now.
I do. I do live out in the boonies, and so I
Need a
gotta.
Jeep.
I gotta fit in. So I gotta
Get a
Jeep,
farm. Yeah.
Start saying y'all.
He's got a
I
wood guy.
spit. I got a
Wood
wood
guy.
guy.
Oh, you got a wood guy. You got a wood guy.
Yeah,
Got a wood
he's got
guy.
a wood guy.
He pays for him to cut
Takes the
trees.
wood away and then he breathes on it and then sells it back to him for
This
double.
fucking
So-
this fucking guy. And so Andy Pandemic, just in the middle of the week, texts Ray and he goes, "Hey, Joe called a guy to cut trees down, haul them
And-
away, and then he buys the firewood back a couple of months later." That's all it said. And it was like on a Wednesday.
And that's
at 3.
perfect. Yep. And it,
But
Okay,
and it
Joe,
hit
But
hard.
it's true.
I think we should wrap it up. We're 2 hours, 30 minutes. Boy,
Woo.
yeah,
All right.
the marathon
Yeah.
show.
This was a super fun one.
Yeah.
Watching Joe like squirm.
Oh,
And
man.
I was like, hold on a second. This guy has a grudge.
Yeah.
And he kept circling back. And then he starts getting into like, Joe, I really liked riding. And now I can't. I was like,
yeah.
is something like,
haven't
and he
ridden
was
since,
talking
he's like-
weird, like not like he was high, but he was disturbed. And I was like, oh man, are we gonna lose this taping? And is somebody gonna have to call the police?
Yeah. He's gonna show up at Joe's house like Mr. Johnson.
And then he starts doing this thing, and I'm like, wait a second. So I was gonna fuck with Luke, and I was like, Luke, are you Luke pretending to be Spike Jones? And I just wanted to see if Luke would break his character, and lo and behold, he actually broke his character as Spike Jones. I didn't think it was Spike Jones
That's good.
until he took the wig off, and then I was like,
That really.
That is
is this really? Because he started to dig at Spike Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said Spike's. Oh, that guy's a
He's
jerk.
like,
Spike's a dick.
that guy's
Yeah.
a jerk.
I was supposed to be in the magazine. Spike wouldn't put me in the magazine. Fuck him.
yeah.
And
And everyone's like, no. Everyone likes Spike, Yeah, it's so good. Okay, well, thank you all for coming on.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I
Good
hope
time.
everyone.
Svenny, I hope you had a good time. Sven?
Good time as always. See you on the
There's a money back
DJ
guarantee.
table.
There's a money back guarantee. If you don't
Oh,
feel like
so
you got your
Sven-
43 cents worth, there's a money back guarantee.
There's money. Yeah. This was a great time. What the-
Was it?
It was like nuts.
Brian, Sven opened us in Norway. He's from Norway. He opened up one of the horror shows in 1986.
Yeah.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, I
Wow, that was
opened
a good
for-
tour.
Yeah, I tried a 540 twice and knocked myself out on the last one.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, probably. It was
I like your
something to
shirt.
remember.
Cool. Well, always a good time. For those that you want to join, you can go to factorfreestyle.com, pay 43 cents and become a guest, and your life will change for the better, hopefully.
Oh yeah, we forgot.
Jones was on today.
We forgot to work with Sven to lock in his new persona. But
I think
we'll do that
know
next
what
time.
Sven's persona is. It's clear. I
Hey.
mean, he's more chill than Brian Blyther, and
Yeah, that's
his only fan is
Yeah.
Brian Blyther. So that says it right there. We know when you come back, we know what your persona or your character is. Absolutely. Don't you?
We
think
should
so?
have a
Hey,
chill
Joe.
off. A chill off between these
a
two.
chill off.
Yeah.
What are you
chill.
going to name this, Joe? What are you going to name this episode? This is going to be a great episode to name.
Well, it was supposed to be the pitch because I was going to pitch those ideas, but I changed it to the Grudge.
The Grudge.
Grudge.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys, I'm out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys later.
All right.
All
thanks,
right.
Love,
everyone.
peace, and Dago grease. Peace out.
See
Do
you,
whatever you
boys.
want
See
to
you
do,
guys.
Dave. You got a tie on. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Later.
Trying to
Hey,
keep my
guys.
job.
Paul's Boutique. Woo!
All right. See ya.
All right. Later, guys.